sister, anytime.
Just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been
Susan Bradley, good morning.
more than I've been wrong.
Courtney the SLP, Lisa Noel, good morning, y'all.
Just can't hurt me. No. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, no, no. I know it's hard to be
Miss Nuru, good morning.
My mama used to tell me, gotta use you.
Six Dragon Daddy, Bezos' rocket looked like a joke of idiocracy. Yes, it did. And it's funny because everybody said the same thing I said yesterday. It looked like a flying dildo going through the air. Good morning, y'all. Y'all stay tuned. We got the Benjamin Dixon show starting up next, y'all.
When that victory be looking like the verge of defeat, and I feel like disrespect, help me turn my other cheek and say sticks and
Barbara, good morning.
may break my bone, but your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right more than I've been wrong, and it still can't hurt.
AD, good morning to you. Melody Dennis, good morning, y'all.
No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, no, no. No, you just can't hurt me.
Right Church, Rome Pew, good morning. Rain Du Sol, good morning, y'all.
See, it's hard to be polite.
Brother Mark S., good morning. Y'all welcome to the screen, please. My brother from another mother, Mr. Benjamin Dixon, y'all.
DJ Exclusive. As always, DJ Exclusive. See, every now and then. Every now and then it happens. Brother, how you doing this morning, man?
I'm pretty good, brother. How about yourself, man?
I'm good. Matter of fact, I got a whole ton of videos that I'm about to rip through really quickly, and one of them has everything to do with Jeff Bezos going into space. So let's talk about the flying. I really wish this was on XM or something. I really wish we could say, because I really want to talk about the flying dick that just went into space, and I'm not talking about the spaceship.
It was two dicks in space yesterday. That was a new record.
Oh man. We're gonna save the rest of this conversation for the after party.
Yes,
because I've got at least 12 more jokes to go about this one. But I do want to talk about this. I want to talk about this pretty seriously. I want to play this first clip from Jeff Bezos's trip to space. And this is a clip where he is saying that I want to thank every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer because we paid for his trip to space. Let's take a look.
Also, I want to thank every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer because you guys paid for all of this. So seriously, for every Amazon customer out there and every Amazon employee, thank you from the bottom of my heart very much. It's very appreciated.
So in other words, all that overtime that those Amazon employees worked and all of those benefits that they didn't get, that's where that money was going to. But I digress. Yeah. I'm sorry, Ben. My apologies, bro.
No, man.
I know people that work for Amazon, and I've heard some of the horror stories from them. And that's like for you to get on stage and to thank me for the work that I do and the packages and stuff that I order. It's like a slap in the face. You're literally a dick, bro. Literally a dick.
Literally. I mean, because he blocked the organizers, black organizers in Bessemer, Alabama, from unionizing. They pulled out Amazon pulled out every possible trick that they could, to the point of potentially violating labor laws, right? To stop the union or the employees who wanted to unionize in Bessemer, Alabama. He stopped them from unionizing. I mean, you talk about the conditions, man. Most of us know somebody that work at Amazon because, well, they're everywhere. And he's right. He should thank all of us who have bought stuff from Amazon because we have made him so rich that he could spend all of this money to go into space for 10 minutes just because he chose not to pay his employees what they need to have not only livable wages, but decent work conditions. I wonder if his rocket to space was as cramped as those recreational rooms that they have, those pods those sanity pods that they're starting to distribute through Amazon. You know, they have these little soundproof rooms that employees can go into instead of walking out of the factory. Amazon employees are now being encouraged to go into this little, you know, this phone booth of a room so that they can get a little peace and solitude and take a little break in between their grueling 14-hour shifts, as they package all these things together for Amazon so that Jeff Bezos can become a trillionaire, the world's first trillionaire eventually, and then build him somewhere safe in space while the rest of us are left down here to survive the damage that all the rest of he and his billionaires have done to this planet. I got more clips, though. It's not. I want to save A1 for when Rebecca gets here. I'm sorry, A2. I want to go to A3. And as he describes that this was the best day ever. This is Jeff Bezos saying that this was the best day ever. Let's listen in.
Copy first step. You have a very happy Capcom here as well. Let's do a status check. Astronaut Oliver.
Control, astronaut Oliver, status correct.
Copy. Astronaut. Copy. Astronaut demo.
Astronaut demo, I am unbelievably good.
Copy.
Blue Control, Bezos, best day ever. Yeah.
Yo, congratulations though. Now here's the flip side of it, right? You know, it's cool. Everybody wants to go to space. Totally cool. I want to go to space. I think I do. I'm not sure, man.
Right.
Go ahead, Jay.
I was about to say, I kind of do. Like, I watched too many horror movies and space movies. Like, I want to go, but it is like, can we like quantum technology? I don't know.
Well,
I need some new stuff.
I just don't like the idea that they build these rockets by using the cheapest bidder. Whoever comes in at the cheapest price is who gets the bid. Like, I don't know if I want to be going like 40, into the stratosphere with the cheapest product that they possibly built. But with Jeff Bezos, because he knows how valuable his life is, I'm sure they didn't spare a single expense on this rocket, because I guarantee you he took all of those salaries that he did not give to his employees and all those benefits that he did not give and all the different ways that he made sure that they didn't unionize. He took all those dollars and made sure that that was the absolute safest flight that anyone would ever have. And this impresses a lot of people. And I think there's a dichotomy here, right? I want to be fair. Like, it is impressive that we are moving into the era where that space flight and travel will not be limited just to the government. Right. But right now it's limited to just billionaires. Mm-hmm. So all of us who are excited about Jeff Bezos being able to do this, you do realize that the average human being it would take a couple centuries before capitalism catches us up to where the average poor person can get a flight into space. So there's a whole lot that we got to fix before all of our dreams of space travel as average people who are not billionaires. There's a lot in society that we have to fix before we get there. And that's if we don't destroy our own climate in the first place. But
absolutely.
Jen Psaki, the press secretary for Joe Biden, said that this is a sign of American exceptionalism. Okay, let's take a look.
It's a moment of American exceptionalism. That's how we see it. It will be the ingenuity of all of our commercial partners to help us continue advancing to the next stage of our nation's space exploration. And investments in space create jobs, can improve life here on Earth through climate monitoring and medical advancements, just to name a few.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, James, I got so much to say about this because I'm like you. I'm a part of that group of society who honestly dreams about space exploration. Right. That's my thing. I love that. Like, that's why I got into politics. Believe it or not, I got into politics because I'm like, how do we get to Star Trek? Like, what are the steps between where we are right now and Star Trek? And then I realized, oh crap, we got to go through American politics to get there. And so that's kind of why I started studying American politics. So I don't want to sound like I'm hating on Jeff Bezos, but what I'm saying is that you cannot look to the stars for humanity when you have your boot on the economic neck of humanity, Jeff Bezos. You just can't do it.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
That was deep.
Well,
You're
well,
right.
you know.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm hating on Jeff Bezos because I want to go to space, you mother sucker. I want to get up there too. God damn it! I want to feel weightlessness. My fat ass up in space, floating around. I want to. Anyway, I digress.
I wonder how easy. Because do we have the B-roll of them floating in space? I do wonder if I'd be able to just. Is it harder? Is it harder for me to float in space because I'm so much heavier?
Right.
So good.
Me and James gonna be sitting down in the seat still.
Okay.
Bring us back.
Dude, look, bro, it's barely any room in there for them to do anything, bro. You just hit the ceiling and you ain't even do nothing.
James, you and me gonna be. Everybody else gonna be floating around. You and me gonna be sitting in our seats like we're doing right now. Like, oh man, this is dope.
Oh,
you and me
yeah.
gonna we gonna levitate. Me and James gonna levitate this much off our seat.
This it. Then this. Okay, well, guess we can go back down now. I'm
man.
good.
Oh man, I want to shift gears. James, you're a fool, man. I want to shift gears a little bit and go to this next the COVID-19. Here's the other thing we got to get through. We got to get through COVID-19. Georgia
Yes.
just got through talking about it. We just got through watching the clip of Mitch McConnell, but I want to go back through this, right? I want to go back through a couple of clips. This is the first clip from Mitch McConnell, and he's saying that these shots need to get into the arms as rapidly as possible. Here's the problem. He has been a part of the absolute machine that is responsible for us being where we are right now. The Republican Party, I could not believe for the life of me, James, that these people are so committed to their politics that they would ignore self-preservation. Like, they're dying because of their politics. And it blows my mind. But here's Mitch McConnell. I'm going to play the clip again. Here's Mitch McConnell trying to get on the right side of history here.
Right.
Let's take a look at it.
97% of the hospitalizations in the country for COVID are unvaccinated people. It never occurred to me after 3 highly effective vaccines were developed in under a year that we'd have difficulty getting Americans to take the shots. But that's obviously where we are. I want to underscore in the strongest possible manner I can, and being very aware that it took 7 decades to come up with 2 effective polio vaccines. This was done in under 1 year. These shots need to get in everybody's arm as rapidly as possible, or we're going to be back in a situation in the fall that we don't yearn for, that we went through last year.
The Republican governor of Utah said this weekend that conservative talking heads are, quote, literally killing their supporters. Would you speak out against people who are actually speaking out against the vaccine?
I don't know how I could be any more clear than I have been. I've been saying the same thing about vaccinations all along the way. Others can say whatever they choose to say. It is not at all unclear that the way to avoid getting back in the hospital is to get vaccinated. I want to encourage everybody to do that and to ignore all of these other voices that are giving demonstrably bad advice.
The problem is that it has been his voice. He's been one of the voices in just this entire environment, man. I got just a really quick story, and I know we're going to be out of time. We're going to be joined by Professor Harvey Kaye during Like It or Not. Rebecca's going to be joining us in a few minutes, and I've got so many more clips. And actually, because of that, I'm going to hold the story. I got a story to tell y'all about COVID-19 after in the after party. I want to go to this next clip. It is of Governor Andy Beshear from Kentucky. And I appreciate how he framed it, because this is a matter I have always seen. And most of us, James, I know you have. We have seen this as a matter of life and death. And this is what Governor Beshear said. They said, again, if you haven't had COVID and you won't get vaccinated, the experts say you're going to get it. And it's going to be the most serious illness of your life. Take a listen in.
We've been saying this, but with the Delta variant, it needs to be followed. All unvaccinated Kentuckians, You have to be wearing a mask when you're outside your home and you're indoors with people you don't live with. This isn't just the COVID from before. It is a deadlier strain. And again, if you haven't had COVID and you won't get vaccinated, the experts say you're going to get it and it's going to be the most serious illness of your life. We know that wearing a mask works.
James, just real quick, man, did you ever think at the beginning of all this that people would be, I don't want to use the word suicidal because there's so much that's wrapped up into that, but that they would just ignore self-preservation and not only allow themselves to die, but in a second, we're going to talk about kids. Did you ever expect it to get here where they really just don't care about their own life or the life of their kids?
I can honestly say I didn't, Ben, because now it's just like once everything started with this virus, just because of the numbers and excuse me, you don't even have to believe the numbers. I mean, you can physically see a lot of stuff. And why would you not want to try to protect yourself or others by getting this vaccine? So now it's just like these anti-vaxxers. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Are y'all really not seeing this? And now all of a sudden there's this rhetoric change with the most Republicans anyway, because you got, what's his name? Senator Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Dumbass. Anywho, now there's this rhetoric change where y'all are now stressing people to get this vaccine. It makes no sense. Probably because somebody's losing money somewhere because vaccines are not going in arms.
Because all of us, or they're trying to protect their future money because they are now seeing a pathway for them to be held financially liable because there is a direct, like we can show, they can demonstrate. We have been able to demonstrate with math, with science, how Fox News has impacted the spread of COVID-19. Okay, so now they know, we actually can trace this. Yes, we can. And here's the other thing, man. When we talk about children, here's a clip of CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky. And she's responding to a question from Senator Roger Marshall, a Republican of Kansas. And in this clip, this is the arguments that we're having to frame to protect our children. Listen, this is what she had to say. She said, I think we fall into this flawed thinking of saying only 400 of the 600,000 deaths from COVID-19 have been of children. Children are not supposed to die. Take a listen.
As a physician, we always want to be able to know and discuss the benefits and risk of anything that we're prescribing, including a vaccine. It's estimated that 40, maybe 50% of children have already had the COVID virus. What are the additional benefits to the vaccine to a child who's already had the virus?
I think it very much depends on what the variant that child might have had, whether they could potentially be infected or reinfected. And, one thing I just want to note with the children is I think we fall into this flawed thinking of saying that only 400 of these 600,000 deaths from COVID-19 have been in children. Children are not supposed to die. And so 400 is a huge amount for a respiratory season.
Thank you. Dr. Woodcock, how many children under the age of 18 without a pre-existing condition, a significant health condition, have died from COVID in this country?
I don't have that at my fingertips. I'm sorry.
Dr.
Over 400.
Without health
that
condition.
I don't know.
So I think the answer is probably zero. So I think if you take a deep dive, most of the children that have died had some type of underlying health condition.
Oh, Lord, help me, God. I had not listened to that whole clip. I got to get his name. This is Senator Roger Marshall. David, I want to make sure I'm addressing the right person. That was Senator Roger Marshall I just heard. A pox on your house, my friend. Because the casual dismissal of the pain of the families of 400 children. May the universe return to you in kind what you have entered into the universe.
That part.
James, take us to a break before I go full plumb off. Like it or not, it's coming up after this.
Yeah, make sure you stay tuned. Like it or not, it's coming up. I'm waiting for my system to come back up, y'all. Here we go. Let's get into some good music. Like it or not, it's starting soon. Stay tuned. And there we go.
It was just a misunderstanding.
Good morning again to everyone, y'all. Good morning, Mama and Daddy. I see y'all. Good morning.
I couldn't say the right things. No, I checked your number twice, then I went home. But I wanna let you know that, yeah, everything about you makes me smile. I wanna be your
All right, y'all. Let's get through some of these. Let's get through our new Patreon members and new Twitch subscribers, y'all. Here we go. Let me see.
I'm into everything I said. You don't have to search no more. Love is all around, so baby, what's your
All right, our new patrons. New patrons for yesterday. We had Njoli B. We have Andrea M, who increased their pledge. We have Sandy S, Catherine M, Royna W. Shout out to y'all. HYJ Davis. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our new Twitch subscribers, we have Ghost Dog TV who subscribed, Mimosa Dragon resubscribed and commented, good morning, Lion fam. Peace and love to you all. Good morning to you too, Mimosa Dragon. We love you as well too. Mimosa Dragon also gifted 6 subscriptions as well too. Semilyn the Kind Dragon gifted 10 subscriptions yesterday. JN Lee 1981 gifted a subscription to Dutch and Tifa Dragon. Zivis X gifted 1 subscription. Spectacular Snyderman cheered 6 bits. JNLE 1981 cheered 100 bits. Siscat cheered 100 bits. Dread 2D Max cheered 300 bits. Zen Cyclist cheered 500 bits. Mimosa Dragon cheered 2,000 bits. Good God almighty, y'all. Twitch was going to hell in yesterday. And because of that, they completed a level 4 hype train, contributed 14 gifted subscriptions, and a total of 2,906 bits. Shout out to Twitch, man. Y'all don't understand, the bits are a big thing on Twitch. So shout out to all my Twitch subscribers, y'all. Y'all are the freaking best, dude. Freaking love y'all, man. Shout out to y'all again. Make sure that you stay tuned in. If you are not already a patron, you can become one, like it or not. Patreon.com/likeItOrNot. Patreon.com/likeItOrNot. Go ahead, get in the poll, y'all. And then I got to tell y'all a story as well, too. But we'll get it soon, okay? Got one more song to get to, and we're going to roll back with Like It or Not. So make sure that you stay tuned. Patreon.com/likeItOrNot. Also, make sure that you hit that like button, y'all. Wherever you are, hit that like button, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, y'all. Stay tuned. Shout out to Alicia. Good morning, Mama. Keegan, good morning. Brother Bryce, good morning to you, sir. I feel like I was about to. Let me stop messing with y'all today. Brother Lateef, good morning, Lateef. Black Dragon, good morning. Diallo, Blue Daddy, good morning. Come on, Blue Daddy. Jesse Minor, good morning to y'all, man. Good morning. All right, y'all, we're going to get back into it, so please stay tuned. Like it or not, it's starting now. It's about to go down.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it.
That's what's happening, man. Today is Wednesday, July 21st. It is 2021, and it is just after 9 a.m. on the East Coast. We are going to jump right into a conversation with Professor Harvey K. Rebecca Azor is going to join us momentarily. We have so many more videos, so many more miles to cover, but I wanted to bring in Professor Harvey K., who's a historian and sociologist, author of several books, including Thomas Paine's The Promise for America, The Fight for Four Freedoms, and friend of the show. Professor K, thank you so much for joining us again. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Although, I was listening to your first segment there, the first hour, and, I'm still astounded that there are people who bought into the idea that, well, especially the Republicans who bought into the idea that the vaccine was some kind of grand plan, to crush the right or something along those lines. Anyhow, I hope people are listening.
I'm glad you started there, Professor K, because I wasn't quite emotionally ready to let that go. Yeah. Because is it surprising to you? Can you think of any other time in history where even the powerful, we know, and through history that there's always been a casual dismissal of the life of Black people, of indigenous populations. Currently, there's a casual dismissal of life in the global South. There's clearly a dismissal of life in Yemen. There's a dismissal of life in Afghanistan. And we have an external dismissal of life. But did you ever think that the empire would have a dismissal of their own lives? The leaders and the rulers of this empire would just casually dismiss their own lives and the lives of their children because of the politics of COVID-19.
It would never ever have occurred to me. It would never have occurred to me, given the fact that we just had one of the most reactionary presidential administrations, which literally launched the effort in its own way to secure the vaccine. And for all of the idiocies that the president himself spouted, the fact was that it was in the course of his presidency that the vaccines were developed. So who would imagine Who would imagine that the very folks who were the base of that particular party and especially that administration would actually respond to Fox News folks' dismissive remarks and literally place themselves in jeopardy? I was listening, and I think I even tweeted or not, messaged into the chat that the Republicans are eager to suppress the vote of Democrats, especially African Americans and other people of color around the country, by way of legislation, and yet the Republicans also have seemed eager to wipe out their own base, given their dismissal of the imperative, first of all, of wearing masks. You will recall that it all began there, and
that's the thing, Professor K, is that Republicans have become masters of pretending as though they are the oppressed.
Yeah.
They understand the philosophical and even literary advantage that the narrative of the oppressed gives people, and that's why they feign oppression. The war on Christmas, the war on Christianity. There is no war on Christianity in this country. There is no war against white people, but they know how to make critical race theory to be the boogeyman so that they could pretend to be oppressed. You actually wrote about something that I think is analogous to this in Senator Josh Hawley, and the Republican senator who is now creating this narrative of victimhood as it pertains to tech, the tech industry. Tell us about that article that you wrote for Common Dreams.
Yeah, well, I couldn't resist reviewing his book, The Tyranny of Big Tech, because it was striking to me that one of the foremost of the reactionary senators, the junior senator from Missouri, was going to go after big tech. And I knew enough from the remarks that were on the book that he was going to be calling for the breakup of big tech, which, by the way, and that's a fine idea, absolutely. But that was the striking thing, that here was this Republican. Look, Republicans are generally the champions of big capital, the champions of the corporate order. So how could it be that the foremost dimension of the corporate order was going to come under assault from a right-wing Republican? So I picked up the book, and what was striking was not the way he developed the argument specifically about big tech. There was nothing terribly original about his attack on big tech. It's, the degree to which it has monopolized our public culture in many ways, monopolized not only shopping, but so much of our public culture. But what he did is much of the book literally projects a radical democratic class struggle argument, which he mobilizes to go after big tech. What he said, is
I want to hold you there only because I want to contextualize for the audience. So when we say big tech, let's help the people really think Facebook, Amazon, Twitter, and then obviously some other tech companies, Apple, anything that you put in your hands or you log into in order to access this conversation or to have FaceTime with your grandbabies or your best friend or your bae. That's all big tech. And we all understand how ubiquitous it's everywhere. Every aspect of our life.
And I'll just add one. I'll just add one thing to that. We used to talk a great deal, and still in many circles talk about what's called civil society. That is the space of American life, which is neither government nor specifically the economy. Civil society encompasses labor unions, civil rights organizations, even community associations, parent-teacher organizations, so on. Now, what people would say is the imperative for democracy is that we have open and free debate and discussion, and civil society is the place in which all of that takes place, out of which ideas are formed, the culture is created, and so on. We shouldn't forget that big tech literally has become our public square.
Yes,
in great part. So,
yes.
So we have corporate operations, enterprises, in essence, shaping and controlling the public square, which, by the way, 20 years ago was the question of what about shopping malls? Were they public square or corporate space? So the critique of big tech that he offers is right on target. That's not what worries.
This is Senator Josh Hawley. So the critique in his book, and this absolutely matters because this is one of the people who's absolutely going to stand in the way of our voting rights, and how they leverage big tech they leverage big tech, Facebook, social media, YouTube, they being Republicans. Conservatives have mastered the art of leveraging big tech to push back against our ability to vote and to participate and to have a fair democracy. So it really begs the question, what in the hell is Josh Hawley's problem with big tech when it is serving him?
Well, so Josh Hawley projects himself as a populist. That is, that he is going to advance, he's going to represent, he's going to argue in favor of the interests of what he calls the common man and woman. In other words, another way of putting it, and he actually uses the term working people, the working class. Now, what he does, and this was what makes him so fascinating. Look, he lined up with Trump from start to finish. Okay, that's well known.
Okay, so so everybody's very clear. Josh Hawley is a Trumpist, and probably even further than Donald Trump. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, and consider this. The momentous January 6th, right? Hawley already made clear he was going to go into the Congress and dissent on the Electoral College vote. He was going to vote no on accepting the vote.
Correct.
Okay. As he approached the Congress, as this crowd, which soon became this insurrectionary mob, was forming, he walked by, and there's a famous photo. I probably should have said, put this up when you get the chance, but anyhow, where he gives a fist bump to the crowd to encourage them, right?
Is that's the image that you have on this article of the article? Okay, David, I'm gonna shoot you that link, and you might can pull it up. We'll put it in post, most certainly, and tell us about. So that's January 6th.
That's January 6th, and as a consequence of that, the book contract that he had with Simon and Schuster, was pulled from him, and he brought the book out with the very conservative, in fact, in some fashion, very decidedly reactionary press, Regnery, Regnery. Right now, this is,
and when you say reactionary, and because we're getting into the weeds, and I want to make sure everyone can come with us, because no, and I know we need the nuance, but I just want to make sure that everybody's with us. When you say reactionary, we're talking about the type of people, the reactionary thought of the people Think of Charlottesville, the
Yes.
people who marched with the tiki torches and the
Right.
khaki pants. Those are reactionary. So Josh Hawley aligns with the reactionary Donald Trump faction of society. He had his book pulled because of his support for January 6th. And now instead he's going after big tech. But big tech is still in favor. I mean, Ben Shapiro,
Well,
there was an article from NPR that showed that Ben Shapiro has built an entire Facebook empire. Big tech has been good to conservatism. So why
Yes.
is he coming after them?
Because keep this in mind, he's planning on running for president. I'm sure of it. And his goal, look, Hawley recognizes what all too many people in the Democratic Party for all too many decades have either refused to understand or have run away from. And that is that working people, whether they're white, black, or brown, okay, whatever their aspirations are, know who, in quotes, their class enemy is. And when I say that, what I mean is that they work for companies that don't pay them what they're worth, okay, that treat them, especially during this pandemic. We've seen the kinds of treatment that Amazon and other companies have subjected workers in the warehouses and else. So he's trying to appeal to those working people who voted for Trump to begin with because they were just plain angry at the Democrats. I mean, he knows this. I've been talking about this for years. And what really then freaked me out as I read this book is how he presents the story of America in a way which Democrats themselves, even Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders and progressive Elizabeth Warren and others, refused to talk in these terms. And this is what I've been, as you know, I've been doing this with you for some time. It is, to me, shocking how the Democrats turned their back on the progressive tradition, truly progressive social democratic tradition of Franklin Roosevelt, of the New Deal years. And moreover, it was Roosevelt himself who had a real understanding of history. At one point, he said, the Republicans have abandoned Abraham Lincoln. We should make him one of our own. So in other words, so think about this. So I thought, well, wait a minute. Where's Hawley? What is he seeking to do? So in fact, he's in many ways, though he's aligned with the Trump folks, he's not a Trumpster exactly. He wants to be the next Ronald Reagan. And I'll explain to you what I mean by that. Ronald Reagan was a master of the use and abuse of the past. Okay. I mean, he was brilliant at talking about the past.
Okay. I'm with you.
So, okay. As a way of literally calling on Americans. And this is Reagan's words, not Trump's. It was Reagan who said, "Join me in the crusade to make America great again." And basically he used the past as a way of encouraging people to understand that they
Okay,
should.
pause,
Yes,
because
I
I
know
need to.
this-
You just told us that the phrase "Make America Great Again" actually came from Ronald Reagan.
It was his campaign slogan in 1980.
In 1980, Donald Trump co-opted it again. Well, I mean, it's right in the the intellectual precursor to Donald Trump.
Right.
And you're saying that Josh Hawley is saying, I'm going to skip over trying to be the next Trump. I'm going all the way back to the originator, the Ronald Reagan.
Right. Hawley is a very smart and thus all the more dangerous character. He was an undergraduate at Stanford. He went to Yale Law School. This is not a lightweight guy. Okay. This is not even his first book. His first book was a study of Theodore Roosevelt, which was like an undergraduate thesis that he wrote. So what he does in this book, I'm not going to read much, but I just want to read to people. Listen to this, how basically he's grabbing hold of history to empower working people to think of him as the new Ronald Reagan or the new populist leader. Big tech looms large as any corporate power in American history, as large as the railroads from a century back. And I'll skip some lines. Its sway is prodigious. Its reach is wide. And yet, like those earlier monopolies, big tech's power is ultimately precarious because Americans are never long contented to be ruled over by barons. They agitate, they protest, they rebel against it. That is what is happening now, and that is why there is cause for hope.
Okay. I need it only for the sake of time. I need us to cut to the essential here, because you're hitting on something that I think is critical for my audience to hear and everyone to hear, because what you're saying is that Josh Hawley is not dumb like Trump.
Right.
He is very intelligent. He knows history, and he's using the power of history, just like Ronald Reagan. And he's now co-opting the populist language of like an FDR, but he's trying to make it synonymous with, basically, he's trying to give us a nationalistic form, a way of viewing an economic populism.
Yes.
Would you?
Yes, I would. But I want to add something really crucial, Ben, and that it's this. People don't realize that when Ronald Reagan ran for president, he was not the hero or the champion of the Eastern corporate establishment. Big capital did not want Ronald Reagan to be president. They wanted George H.W. Bush.
That's right. I remember that.
That's first.
Well, I remember studying that. That was the year I was born. Go ahead.
Yes. Second, Ronald Reagan ran against the Republican establishment of his own party. So think about Hawley. He's running against basically the corporate establishment, big tech, and he's also running against his own party. So that working people, and by the way, don't forget, Trump actually saw an increase in votes among people of color this past time around, not radically so, but so. And so Hawley's got in mind, he's going to try to win the white working class vote. And maybe, given the nature of these past few years, he'll even sort of pull in all the more in spite of his obviously racialist politics.
That's it right there. That's the last part, because when you tell me that Josh Hawley is aligning with the reactionaries, that tells me that he is the smart version of Donald Trump, that he would leverage those same people from Charlottesville, but he would leverage them in a way that gives them some type of intellectual precursor, some philosophical underpinnings to make them feel smart and justified. So I have to ask you this last question before we go to this break. How is he unsatisfied with everything that Facebook and social media and tech is giving to conservatives? Because the algorithm is in the faith. It prefers conservative reactionary thought.
Well, he too buys into this idea that this is all part of this corporate and liberal establishment kind of plan to drive conservatism out of the public square, which also then enables him to appeal to folks who are indeed just plain old right-wing Republicans and could care less about working class needs. No, I mean, what's fascinating, look, the tragedy here, and I wrote this, and I have to tell you that I didn't do this with the idea that I'm going to reveal to the Hawley or even Trump voters what's really going on. I'm trying to tell people on the left, whether they're liberals, progressives, or radical, whatever they want to call themselves, that we have left behind the history that's ours. And we have got to start, as you've heard me say all too many times probably, we have got to start talking about the degree to which this has been a radical story, the story of America. For all of it, the exploitation and oppression, the fact is that we did overcome along the way because of struggles from below. And we have to remind people that the way forward is not simply to vote, but it's to get organized and not allow the Democrats to be so either ignorant or suppressive of the story of America that is ours. We've got
the radical story of America.
Yes, well, sorry. Yes, indeed. As you know, I mean, my book is titled "Take Hold of Our History, Make America Radical Again." I mean, we've got to cultivate a narrative that extends from the American Revolution and Tom Paine all the way through to the likes of A. Philip Randolph and so on and so forth.
Yes. Absolutely. I would love to have you on one day with Brother Carl Mack as we talk about that history and how dangerous it is for conservatives to co-opt the radical history of the United States, especially when they're co-opting it in a way that is going to be suppressive to marginalized groups across the globe. And I think that's the warning that you're giving us in your article on Common Dreams entitled "Josh Hawley Throws a Challenge at Big Tech and the Left." Professor Harvey K. I got to have you back as soon as possible. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. You're brilliant.
Oh, no, man. I thank you for this brilliant conversation. DJ exclusive. It is in your hands. When we come back, Rebecca Zor is going to join us, and we've got a lot of miles to cover, more like it or not, after this.
All right, y'all, make sure that you stay tuned. Our sister from another mister will be joining us this morning again, Rebecca Azor. It's like it or not, y'all. Make sure if you have not already, patreon.com/like it or not, patreon.com/like it or not, because now more than ever, we need your support. to keep this thing going and help me pay for another bill that I didn't want to have to go through. But I had to do what I had to do to make sure that I'm here for y'all and keep going. All right, y'all. Make sure that you stay tuned. We got more coming up next. Let's go check out some people in some other chat rooms. Shout out to everybody that is watching right now. Justice Draconis, what's going on, brother? KFZ, I see you. Luke Kang, brother, I see you. Yankee Strong, good morning. Alicia, good morning to you. Let's go over to the Like It or Not channel and see who we got over there. Vanessa Takes On, what's going on? Roy the W. E. Smith, what's going on, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Diallo, what's going on, sir? And of course, let's jump to my Twitch family. Shout out to my Twitch family, y'all. They had a dope ass hype train going on yesterday that we really appreciate. And y'all had the damn thing yesterday. I appreciate that, man. First, let me get my next song going. There we go. Rachel Letney, what's going on? Good morning. There she goes, fastest killer, Jam Tomb. Good morning, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all drop those bubble emojis in that chat room. I just love those emojis so much. See my fat ass face posted somewhere. I love it. Good morning, y'all. Facebook family, y'all are up next. Let's see what y'all got going on today. Terry Stacy, good morning. Herbert Loreno, good morning. Almira, I see you. T. Michelle Johnson, good morning. And Azuma or Stukala, I apologize if I messed up your name. Excuse me, Azuma. But Azuma is chatting and looking at us from Germany, man. We appreciate you. Make sure that you stay tuned, okay? Love y'all. I mean it. More Like It or Not is coming up next. And then also, we need to apologize on Facebook because I heard that it takes up a lot of system resources. Is that right, David? Yes. You know what? It does, because every time I have it open, it just doesn't work for me at all. Yeah, man, I said Germany. That's dope as hell. We international, y'all. Germany, Australia, the UK, New Zealand, man, we all over the place. Japan, wow. That shit makes you feel good. It really makes you feel good. I really love y'all. You have to still understand. Jelly Roll Bubble, a lady 747 says, Jelly Roll Bubble, thank you for your super chat. I appreciate you. Ken M, thank you for your super chat as well, too. Laura Estrada sent the super chat earlier saying, we enjoy this show and I think to stay tuned. I can't remember exactly. And also, Shay seconded that super chat with his own super chat. So thank you all for your super chats this morning, man. Y'all are just some amazing people. Y'all dope as hell. Tiger, good morning, brother Tiger. Tiger says that casual dismissal of 400 dead kids is a sign this country deserves to fall. The easiest way to make a revolutionary is to take their family. You're absolutely right. Why do you think that Ben said Tiger uppercut? Yeah, you nailed that for real. But really, why do y'all think that all villains are villains? Because most times something is happening to their family or something in the past. Like, did y'all see Cruella? Now see why Cruella wanted to kill them damn dogs. See, they killed her mama. Well, actually, they didn't kill her mama. Never mind, but you see why Cruella was a villain, right? It makes sense. Villains are trained. They just go through a whole lot of stuff more than a regular person. I would want to be a villain. No, I'm just playing. I don't want to do that. Rebecca is chewing me up. Bubba, why would you spoil that? Man, that movie been out like for 5 months now, girl. You should have been seeing that movie. Y'all, Rebecca mad at me? I love you, Rebecca. Y'all, welcome back to the screen. Rebecca and Ben.
I be feeling I feel so vulnerable, James, when you're up there and you just be saying everything. Like, I be like, dang, that dude can say anything he wants to the audience right now. You're like, I don't like y'all. He's just like, I can't stand none of y'all.
I'll be spilling my soul. I'll be talking cash money shit about y'all.
Boy, you be
Stop
pouring,
playing.
you be pouring your soul out, man. You be pouring your soul out to the
A little
people.
too much though, because sweetie, like I wanted to watch for sure Cruella, and I'm like, okay, I like where he's going with this. He's telling me I need to watch Cruella because there's a reason, and I like the point that you made that all villains have a story and they're not
Right.
always actual villains. There's something
Killmonger.
behind it. Yeah, Killmonger. But then you did that. You spilled wine. I don't like that. I don't even want to watch it. But
You still
anyway,
it's so much. You still have to watch it, Rebecca. You still it's because there's so much I didn't say. It's you still have to watch it.
but I don't want villains who are like ex-boyfriends to think that's an excuse for them. So
Exactly.
some people are villains. They just
Some
naturally are, and they
people
try
are
to use
villains.
like I ain't had no daddy growing up to be an excuse.
Right.
And that's
Oh,
not always
wow.
an excuse. Because like daddy issues, I understand them. A lot of people have them, but it's how you decide to take it and and be a better person. That does not give you excuse to constantly disrespect people. I don't know. Like, that
Absolutely.
just came in my spirit.
Yeah.
But
No,
villains,
that's a fact.
can
That's
have
true.
stories, and
Let me tell you. Let me just say this one thing about what you just said, Rebecca. That is so true. We just got to accept that there are some bad people here,
Yeah.
and that there are some people who are villains, and they don't need a backstory. See. I no, I'm not. I'm gonna save it for the after party. I got 3 stories I'm gonna tell y'all in the after party. One of them is this: we as black people have never had to make up villains. We've been living with y'all for a long time. All these
a long
backstories
time.
y'all been given these books, y'all have to dream up Negan. They had to dream up Negan to create the kind of trauma that they put black people through. But that's for the after party. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Ooh.
Well, that was that on that.
That was
that was a good point too, Ben. There's so many points that we can go with this.
Yeah, it
and
is.
It's not to knock, like I said, it's not to knock. I got issues, right? I got a lot of issues, right? Mentally, physically, medically. I do. I do.
Listen.
But I could have let this morning. I was going through a bit of an anxiety moment. Because I have bad anxiety, y'all. My anxiety, when it takes over like nobody's business. And before, I used to make it an excuse for how I acted in certain places. Well, y'all know my anxiety was acting up. Y'all know. But then I'm like, okay, Rebecca, now you can't make that an excuse every time you go out and you start getting
Right.
a little crazy, a little shifty. I start twitching and you start just going crazy. You can't do that. You have to take hold of it and control that. So there are things that we can take control of. And when you're treating people bad and when negativity is coming from you, if there's something negative, if something that you are doing to hurt people and someone says, hey, that hurt me, your excuse can't be like, you know how I am. And my excuse being with you or being your friend or being whatever can't be like, you know how she is. You know that's just how she is. I know my friend. I know no, I've held you accountable already. I've held you accountable, and I've been by your side. I stuck right beside you. Now you got to respect my feelings. You got to respect my feelings.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
And before we get started, can we plug patreon.com/like it or not real quick? Patreon.com/like it or not, or patreon.com/the BPD show.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is because y'all, I had no choice but to finance a new MacBook because my old one is just, it's not working right now.
I told you these things are, man, I can't stand Apple.
Hindsight, this MacBook is like 6 going on 7 years old. So, but I'm on it now, and when I tell you it lags, I can't do music anymore on it barely.
Listen.
And the interest rate is 199%.
What?
But I had no choice, y'all. I had
Y'all better-
absolutely had no choice, and it's another bill I can't afford. But if I want to be here still and put myself out there for y'all, I have to do
So
it.
Bubba,
James speaking that into the atmosphere. He's saying
No,
somebody
Bubba.
in this audience is going to be able to run him a laptop real quick.
So this morning, I actually, it's funny you say that, Bubba. You know what, guys? This is gonna be a quick point. Bubba, your MacBook, you deserve so that you can be here and you
It's
can play
coming.
music.
It's coming.
And
It's
you
coming.
can, so anybody who's watching, please plug into patreon.com/like it or not. But I actually, this yesterday, I was while I was at work, I did receive a phone call from my healthcare providers, and they were like, hey girl, well, that's not what they didn't say, hey girl, they're like, hi, can we speak to Rebecca? I'm like, yeah, whatever. And they were like, we can't we have everything in place for you. And as you guys know, I've talked about it on this show multiple times. I have a pre-existing condition that where, it's been tough. I had surgery for and everything like that. And for the past year, I've been on a system where I got drugs in my body. So these drugs for a year. In August, I have my big checkup, to make sure that I am A-okay. But for some reason, my healthcare provider called me yesterday, told me it's no longer covered. You guys, I am literally at the end of the stretch where I get to get checked up and make sure that there are no more like cancerous cells or no more pre-existing condition, things like that. I am at the last stretch. We have literally. So if I don't stay on this the way that they told me to, can't get my drugs. So I paid half of it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to, like you did, Bubba, reach out to our audience and ask for assistance. I don't need to tell you the number because I don't want to overwhelm you guys. It's not that much, but I paid what I could. And if you guys can, I'm going to drop my Cash App instead. Because it's Becca's Voice, BECCASVOICE. And if everybody who's watching right now gives $1, I don't care. 50 cents. I don't really care.
Okay, I tell you what. Hang on. Let me do this properly then. We're going to raise the offering. I'm going to do it properly because you got to do everything in decency and in order. All right. Because we got to have the folks that are bringing you guys this content. Now, this is a working class show. If there's ever a working class show, let's just cut to the core here, right, folks? I am barely, by the skin of my teeth, no longer in the working class. So that should let you know that my co-hosts are very much so still in the working class, Black people who understand the necessity for liberation, the necessity for what we do, and that's why you guys are here every single day. And so to that end, you can't have the people who are trying to provide you this kind of content, or at least you shouldn't, out here struggling. So Rebecca, Cash App, James, Cash App, I want y'all to switch out on your screen. David, switch out their Twitter handles and put their Cash App handles in there. And as y'all drop some good, I don't want to make it seem like, this is not, I'm not making y'all perform, but y'all, when they say something dope, they say something smart, tip your DJ, tip your host, tip your hostess. That's just, so let's do it like that. Put y'all Cash Apps on the screen, because I know the audience would not want y'all out here bringing this amazing content to them every single day. And because such is the nature of our show right now, it's a working class show. Now, listen, we got some hustle in us too. We ain't gonna be here always. We getting ready to blow the hell up because of how much dope content we bring every single day. That said, I don't see the screen. I want to make sure. Let me go click on the screen, make sure that y'all Cash Apps. There it is. All right.
Don't put it in the what is it? The super chats, which is great that you guys
listen, we love y'all.
Ben dropped the gym on us and was saying, it's great, but they take from us, and that is another capitalistic thing. But Ben, go ahead and
no, I'll set it up, Rebecca, because as we were listening to Professor Harvey K in the last segment, and he was just talking about like this is at every level. This is a systemic issue, and Republicans and conservatives are out here trying to pretend like the algorithm is working against them, when the algorithm is working in favor of conservatism. Did y'all see that NPR article about Ben Shapiro, about how he is building an empire using social media? Ben Shapiro is this far right-wing conservative commentator who is, to me, analogous to being a reactionary, just like Josh Hawley. Like he's a Trump supporter, right? This is Trumpism. The algorithm is designed for Trumpism. And they out here acting like they're victims, when at the end of the day, the people who are speaking truth to power are the ones who we got suspended last week on YouTube, right? Rebecca, you are out here having to struggle as you speak this truth to power. You're having to struggle with the actual corporations that people are struggling with day to day. Like, y'all are living this life. I get to do this from home, right? But there are people who are very intimate, and y'all too are, and y'all know the stories of them. And I worked the overnight shift. There's some of us who have really had the hard way working to come up in this society. And there's a whole lot of Black people who are still in that place, living paycheck to paycheck. So when we talk about this, we ain't by ourselves.
Yeah. Right. This affects us more than just living paycheck to paycheck, right? Because it's like, when we're living paycheck to paycheck, we can pay. Like, honestly, I'm okay with paycheck to paycheck and paying my bills. You know why? Because I remember the stress when I could not even live paycheck to paycheck.
Right,
I
Rebecca.
wasn't able to pay my bills, Ben.
Mm.
I wasn't able to put gas in my car. You remember, you were right there with me. I was on Peach State insurance that would not pay for my biopsy, that would not pay for my checkups, that would not pay for my surgery. You remember, I called you crying because I didn't know that my checkup was going to be a biopsy. I didn't have the money, y'all. They literally got me to pay this. They forced this money out of me, and then I couldn't pay the rest. And then this was way back then. I had to either choose between paying my car insurance and then paying my my home rent. Let me tell y'all what happened. Ended up leaving the job that we were at. Couldn't find one in that particular moment. Car got dragged out of my parking lot on Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day. I couldn't afford to live paycheck. I could not live paycheck to paycheck. It wasn't doing anything for me. That's why I tell you guys now, you know, I mean, I might live out in the boondocks, but this is affordable for me. I wanted something nice. I wanted something affordable because I couldn't afford this closer to my job. I could not afford this. You know, I have to sacrifice. So paycheck to paycheck might be one thing. It's better than
it's better than not having a check.
It's abusive though too. It's abusive because they make us believe that living paycheck to paycheck, slaving at your job, making just enough. Although they said that you'll be making this every hour, when you get your check and you see the deductions,
taxes,
and then I pay for insurance, only for insurance to tell me, because me and my girlfriend were talking about that yesterday. She was like, "Don't stress about it." She's like, I mean, insurance is a scam. I'm like, girl, it is a scam. Let's talk about that. I'm over here thinking that's part of the benefits. I'm okay. I'm being able to pay and do this and do that. And all of a sudden, we moved to this place where it's like, hey, we're no longer covering you anymore. You guys, I went to like 4 since May, right? I went and I'm thinking, okay, we're at the last of it. We're coming to the end of it. Y'all, a few days before I have to go in, they called me and tell me, yeah, we spoke to your doctors and it looks like you're no longer covered.
Wow.
Why? What happened? It just you're no longer covered. And
they just decided you're no longer covered.
Nope. I paid half of it right there, but then I started doing my math. How if I move this to the side, if I move this to the side, if I push this over here, if I do this like this, and then okay, but on this day, on Wednesday, I'm gonna have to push this bill to the side. And that's when I knew. It's scary. It's scary living that way.
We so used to living like that, ain't we?
I was just about to say that, Ben. Yeah. It's like, I ain't gonna say it's embedded, but it's just like we're used to. I ain't gonna say used to it. I hate to say you're used to it.
Yeah, man.
We know how to move some stuff around. Okay, I can delay this. I can put this off and do a payment arrangement on this and switch this around. So yeah, it's living paycheck to paycheck, and then it's also like, okay, what can I rearrange until next week, 2 weeks, next month, and what can I delay? I hate it. I hate doing that. It just makes me feel like a fucking failure sometimes, y'all.
A poor person. Like, first of all,
person.
You be having the weeks and the months that you're okay. Like I said, me paying my bills is a big deal for me.
Yeah.
But I think I've come beyond that stage. I no longer want to just pay my bills. I want to have money in my savings account that I don't touch.
Yeah.
Rebecca, before you keep going on that thought, I just want to make sure people understand, these conversations folks ain't really having, man, because you know how impossible it is in an Instagram age to just say, hey, no, I actually don't have a yacht that I'm taking pictures on, and I don't have, I ain't always able to pay the bill at the club I just posted a picture from. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Because you know what happens, you become lazy. Because they're bringing that. I was looking at my pictures from a few years ago, Ben, and I was looking at the drive. There's a song that I used to sing or listen to when I first left and went to college, and I was looking at my drive. But there are two things there that I can say.
Your drive for life and your career.
For life, to get into journalism. To start just looking at everything and whatever. That's when degrees meant something, okay? It wasn't just Megan Nees. It was really degrees. Like, it really meant something. I didn't have the pressure of,
you got degrees.
Social media and things like that. But I remember there's a song by Jasmine Sullivan. She was just early 20s at the time, and she was saying, "I got to dream big because when it happens, it's gonna happen real quick." That song really pushed me because Rebecca, you gotta dream big. I've always been a big dreamer.
You and my sister Rebecca. That's my favorite song ever created.
Right? It's Ben, you should listen to it because it makes you feel good. Up
it makes you feel like okay.
Right now, listen to Dream Big by Jasmine Sullivan.
It's motivation. Yes,
I was a little 17-year-old, and it motivated me to get up and go to Tallahassee to FAMU. But when I got there, I'm like, okay, every day was a day for me to challenge myself. And I was dealing with depression. I didn't understand how or what it was, but that song used to get me through. And then as I'm going and I'm doing my thing, I started realizing something ain't right with me being just like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, just constantly on that, because that's what society told me to do. I had to literally, the Diddy thing. If you got to sleep when you dead. And literally, guys, I was like on the move all the time. As a 17-year-old little thing on the hill, just on the move all the time, because I thought that was going to get me to a place where I should make money. I did that all the way up until the end of my graduation. Ended up got 2 degrees. Ended up graduating. And all of that work that I did, I didn't get any fruits of your labor. I moved to New York with $50 in my pocket. No support from my parents as far as like they didn't want me to. I moved there poor with one little bag and some high heels on. Okay. And I still got abused by the system because I was working for big name companies. I worked for Bravo, a show on Bravo. And I just because I said, hey, I feel like you're not, to the woman that I was working for the show, I said, hey, I feel like you're being kind of mean to me. Like, and I don't like it. It's on camera. Like, we're on the show. And she told me, well, this is what you have to go through.
Oh, so that's abusive.
Yes, I said, you know what? In order to be in entertainment journalism, I'm not going to do this anymore. And when I walked away from it, she didn't pay me a thing after I worked for her the whole entire summer, up and down the streets of
New York. That's just called an unpaid internship. That's all
right. Exactly. But it wasn't even supposed to be an internship. It was a job. That was my first job. And yeah,
see, so y'all see, do y'all understand why I keep people around me? Because some of the stuff y'all saying to me is extremely triggering. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. But I want to put a tweet on the screen real quick because it really dovetails to what you're about what you're saying very specifically. This is a tweet from Candace Owens. And it really just shows that sometimes people can be on the trail of truth, but because they got to get a paycheck, they end up lying anyway. Take a look at this tweet on the screen. She said, the COVID vaccine saves lives, which is why the government is making it free. She has that in quotation marks. She wants to challenge this notion. And then this is her argument. She says, okay, so explain to me why insulin and asthma inhalers cost so much money. If the vaccines are really about the government trying to save your life, why do life-saving medicines cost so much?
So there's so much happening.
Rebecca, you just literally put this in the response. Put this in the response shot if we can. I don't know if you made a video of it, but y'all, this is exactly the question that this begs the question. Why do we have to spend so much money just to effing live in this country? Yeah. Rebecca, why was your insurance company able to just dump you off? Candace Owens is asking the right question.
Yes.
But her premise is that the government isn't supposed to be here to help you do those things. Then what the hell is the government here for if y'all taking all of my taxpayer dollars out of the check that I'm barely living paycheck to paycheck through?
It's so much to unpack here because I'm like, that's such a good question, Candace. We've asked that for a while. When it comes to the healthcare system, why do we have to pay for our survival here? For whatever the reason we may be, for whatever condition we may have, why do we have to pay for our survival here? Now, for her to juxtapose, because that's Van's word, her to juxtapose that to the fact that the damn the vaccine is free,
right?
What it does is give the conspiracy theorists that whole, oh yeah, if it's free, then you shouldn't even take it. But hey, you remember that vaccine that a lot of y'all Haitians and immigrants took to get to America, and it caused you to have that big old scar on your arm. Y'all know that one, but y'all took it y'all was like, listen, if it gets me over to America, if it gets me somewhere better, y'all remember that? Because my mama, my daddy, my grandma, my auntie, my cousins, my uncle, and them, they got it. No issue. But and it was free, but it helped them get over here. I say all that to say, you guys are worried about the wrong things. what we need to understand here, and this question is the right question, and it is the perfect question, and it highlights how the United States of America, the government, the health system, is controlling, and they literally will profit off of you being healthy. In order for you to be healthy, you got to pay up, and if you don't pay up, we're gonna kill your ass, and we'll be okay with that.
Right.
So they even started doing that in some kind of ways with COVID-19. That's why we say, listen, while the vaccine is free, hopefully it remains free. If you notice in the other countries, there are some companies that did not even want to give it up because they want to figure out a way to capitalize that.
You mean like the United States of America?
United States of America. When I say that, I mean the United States did not want to give it up because they want to capitalize, because they didn't capitalize off of it here as they should have. So what they want to do is capitalize off of giving other countries
globally,
the vaccine.
right?
We always find a way to steal, kill, and destroy from people. So I say this to say it doesn't help. It doesn't help at all to make these kind of claims that the vaccine being free is the vaccine being lethal, being something poisonous for people. It's actually very helpful. And right now, while it is free, because I don't know how, y'all know how America moves, they a little shifty. So you don't know what it would look like when they start saying, oh, now we have this special Delta variant vaccine or whatever the case may be, and it costs X, Y, and Z. Get your vaccine today. Save yourself while you can.
So we don't even need a new, like that's the other thing. It's such a level of stupidity. I got some clips of Rand Paul. Y'all, these are the people who are elected officials. These are people who are senators. These are people who actually are deciding. I gotta put this in context because I'll talk about this in the after party. It really throws me that people have the gall to think that they have the right to determine the destiny of humanity. But Rand Paul is one of the people who think he has the right to determine the destiny of humanity. And this is how stupid this man is. Take a listen to this first clip.
Fauci, knowing that it is a crime. Dr. Fauci, knowing that it is a crime to lie to Congress, do you wish to retract your statement of May 11th where you claimed that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, I have never lied before the Congress, and I do not retract that statement. This paper that you are referring to was judged by qualified staff up and down the chain as not being gain of function.
So
let me finish.
You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans. Right. You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially.
Can I answer gain of function? This is your definition that you guys wrote. It says that scientific research that increases the transmissibility among mammals is gain of function. They took animal viruses that only occur in animals and they increased their transmissibility to humans. How you can say that is not gain of function?
It is not.
It's a dance, and you're dancing around this because you're trying to obscure responsibility for 4 million people dying around the world from a pandemic.
If the point that you are making is that the grant that was funded as a sub-award from EcoHealth to Wuhan created SARS-CoV-2, that's where you are getting. Let me finish.
We don't know.
Well, wait a minute.
It didn't come from the lab, but all the evidence is pointing that it came from the lab, and there will be responsibility for those who funded the lab, including yourself.
I want to fight this. Look, I'm sorry. I thought there was still more time left in the video. I hope the audience didn't hear me say that. Did y'all hear me say I wanted to fight this dude?
I did. I heard that.
I definitely heard
David made sure not to put us on mute this time. Now he's like, it ain't my fault.
Right. Okay.
I'm serious. So listen, gain of function research. He read a portion of the definition, but I want to read the rest of it because Rand Paul is leaving out an intentional part. Gain of function research is medical research that alters an organism or disease in a way that increases pathogenesis, transmissibility, or host range. This research is intended to reveal targets to better predict emerging infectious diseases and to develop vaccines and therapeutics. He gave the definition, Rebecca. This is exactly like you said with Candace Owens' tweet. They gave just enough information for the conspiracy theorists to say, oh, you mean to tell me Rand Paul would not make this conclusion on the record, But he sows the seeds for people to say, oh, you mean to tell me the government made this? And then he fuels it by saying, you're going to be held accountable, Anthony Fauci. But he intentionally leaves off the last part, which is this research is intended to reveal targets to better predict emerging infectious diseases and to develop vaccines and therapeutics. So gain of function research is designed to help us to get ahead of all of the future pandemics. That's the best way I can describe it. Rand Paul is a scientist and he knows this, but he's playing games with everyone because of politics and he's getting people killed. Rebecca.
All I gotta say is I don't like that. No, all I have to say is that Rand Paul, like you said, Ben, I didn't know Rand Paul was a scientist. I really just know
well, he's an eye doctor, but you know,
he's an eye doctor. I mean,
come on. I mean, he is well versed. He is well versed in the
he knows something medically. He does
scientific method and falsification.
He's an eye doctor, but he can't see the truth. So Fauci literally is laying it out on the line for him, like just like, hey, you know better, bruh, and you know what you're saying is not the truth. You don't know what you're talking about. Fauci to me is sick and he's tired. Now there were a lot of times that I felt like he should have grabbed the mic from former President Donald Trump and from other people who sat in front of him, dismissed everything that man said. I think he's just tired at this point. And now it's just like, my boy, Rand,
my boy,
Mr. Paul, you wrong. And I'm about sick and tired of all of y'all.
You see how he started pointing?
You're wrong.
He said, you know what? I'm
You're
sick
wrong.
of you. Y'all know what he did? And they got to wait right
F you.
You too. Looking at him and I was
F
like,
you. You're cool.
It's feeling. He's feeling it.
Hey, we mix it up too. We mixing up Beyonce and not Harlem Nights, but Coming to America. But F you, you cool. That's what Fauci just got to do it. Run that second clip. Here's a second clip of Rand Paul and Anthony Fauci.
I resent the lie that you are now propagating, Senator, because if you look at the viruses that were used in the experiments, that were given in the annual reports, that were published in the literature, it is molecularly impossible.
No one's saying those viruses caused it.
It
no
is
one is
molecularly.
those viruses caused the pandemic. What we're alleging is that gain of function research was going on in that lab, and NIH funded it.
That is
Can't
not.
Get away from it. It meets your definition, and you are obfuscating the truth.
I'm not obfuscating the truth, and you are implying that what we did was responsible for the deaths of individual. I totally resent that. And if anybody is lying here, Senator, it is you.
Senator Smith.
I just want to say, Dr. Fauci, is there anything more that you would like to say to counteract these attacks on your integrity that we've all just witnessed?
Well, Senator, thank you. I don't think I have anything further to say. This is a pattern that Senator Paul has been doing now at multiple hearings based on no reality. He keeps talking about gain of function. This has been evaluated multiple times by qualified people to not fall under the gain of function definition. I have not lied before Congress. I have never lied, certainly not before Congress. Case closed.
Rebecca and James.
Listen, he shut me down. He shut me up.
He
said,
shut me up too.
Everything that you just said, I resent that you're literally trying to imply that we are at fault for people losing their lives over this. And that is disrespectful. I have been dragged in this game. I have been the face of COVID, okay, in this whole country as the doctor of COVID. Now, you are not about to sit here and say because people passed, it's because of us telling them to be vaccinated. We were the ones literally giving the world the precautions to deal with, while states were trying to fight them and push them down. What you will not do today to me, Mr. No Sleep, rolling out of bed, messy hair, bags heavy under the eyes, evil, out of your eyes, evil, lurking out of your eyes. You will not tell me that it is my fault, but you need to look at your colleagues and your peers and the governor, like the governor of Texas. Whatever his name is,
Greg Abbott,
and then the other boy, the other man,
which one?
That went in.
Oh, Senator Ted Cruz.
Senator Ted Cruz and Governor Greg Abbott. Look at your partners in them. Look at DeSantis out in Florida and what they were fighting. Check those numbers out. Go up to New York and look how they were hiding those numbers. If you're going to point those fingers, it was because you guys were acting like COVID wasn't a thing. And it turns out people died because it really is.
And you know what? I always wonder, I'm like, Fauci has been around and been doing this for a long time. And it was a key part, even in the AIDS pandemic. And I'm sure that he didn't even have to go through any of this.
Wow.
Because right now, they're just like, this makes no sense. You're basically accusing him and his people of killing millions of people around the world. In a nutshell is what you're doing.
I want to what is today? Today is Wednesday, y'all. I want to keep the stream open for the public if that's okay with y'all. But we're only going to do that if y'all we normally, I have one more clip. We normally make you become a patron to get the after party, but we want to keep it open because we got a lot of good content to keep going. But I to cover, I got to say this about Rand Paul. And I want to say it after we play this last clip. Here's the last clip of the exchange between he and Rand Paul, Fauci and Rand Paul.
Senator Paul, a majority of the med students here today have a comprehensive exam tomorrow. Just wondering if you have any last minute advice.
Actually, I do. I'll tell you this. I never ever cheated, and I don't condone cheating, but I would sometimes spread misinformation. So, and this is a great tactic. Misinformation can be very important. So one time we were in the library and we were studying for a path test. And so we just started spreading the rumor that we knew what was on the test, and it was definitely all about liver. Everything, there's going to be a vast majority of questions all about liver. So we tried to trick all of our competing students into overstudying for the liver and not studying for the kidney and every other organ that's on there. But so that's my advice. Misinformation works. So try to trick your opponents into knowing that the test is about something it's not.
So he should have been on that the ship yesterday with the other dick.
with Amazon.
Listen, do we have those? Wait,
no,
we're not had that conversation yet.
We've had a piece of it, but I got that. I got that clip.
And
I got that.
But what that man just said, and that's a good one. That's a good one, Bubba. What that man just said just now, you guys, pay clear attention.
Yeah. Like, pay attention.
Pay clear attention. Misinformation is a problem. I need that to understand that. And there is no benefit in spreading misinformation, especially when you're somebody who is so empowered and you can literally say one thing and the sea of people who follow you and believe you will drink that Kool-Aid.
This
and
is a
they
senator.
Will die.
Yes.
They will die because Rand Paul is sitting here. He sits before those people and he speaks, right? When he's in the office and he's and he's in that conservative environment and he's fighting for America and he's fighting for the people and everything that he does well. And he puts the blame, the COVID deaths on the fact that they're the one person who has been fighting in that particular space for people to sit their asses down, cover up their faces, stay home.
Yeah.
Get vaccinated. You blame him and you say to Dr. Fauci that he and everybody that supports him is the cause of the death of COVID. That's the problem. But yet you sit here in front of this relaxed crowd and you make a joke about misinformation. You need to believe that man as he spoke, the way that he spoke. You need to believe him. Misinformation and the fact that he is so proud of sharing it and saying that that's it, there's a benefit to it. There's a benefit to it. It's all a part of the plan. Come on, somebody.
I got to break down what this man did because I want y'all to see exactly what it means. And then, James, we'll go to a break. We're going to come back with the after party vibe. But wherever you're watching, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, wherever, don't go anywhere. We're going to stay public today because I want y'all to send a cash app to James and Rebecca. So we're going to stay public. But I got to say this, y'all. Rand Paul, what he did not say, what he stopped short of saying in that clip is that the results of his actions meant that he caused other students to fail or to perform lower than they normally would because of his misinformation. The question, we got to play the clip again. I didn't introduce it right the last time, but I got to introduce it again. I want y'all to listen as he explains his success. Rand Paul's success is based on being able to make other people perform worse through misinformation. Take a listen to this clip one more time.
Senator Paul, a majority of the med students here today have a comprehensive exam tomorrow. Just wondering if you have any last minute advice.
Actually, I do. I'll tell you, I never ever cheated, and I don't condone cheating, but I would sometimes spread misinformation. So, and this is a great tactic. Misinformation can be very important. So one time we were in the library and we were studying for a path test, and so we just started spreading the rumor that we knew what was on the test, and it was definitely all about liver. Everything, there's going to be a vast majority of questions all about liver. So we tried to trick all of our competing students into overstudying for the liver and not studying for the kidney and every other organ that's on there. But so that's my advice. Misinformation works. So try to trick your opponents into knowing that the test is about something it's not.
Trick your opponents into thinking the test is about something that it's not. This is from a 2013 speech at the University of Kentucky, and it is at the Benjamin Rush Institute. In response to advice on medical students having to perform on a test, he said, spread information to your opponents so that they can perform worse. And what does that do? That means all he has to do is just do a general mediocre white supremacist job of studying. But because he actively made sure that other people got misinformation and they studied the wrong thing, that means instead of them getting an A, they got a C. And that made his B look amazing. That's how America has always worked in this country.
Absolutely.
James,
I don't care if this clip was from 2005, 2000.
Right.
What happens is your mess will always come back and haunt you in the behind.
But this is what he's doing with COVID-19.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It aged beautifully. It aged like fine wine, because what happened was when it circled back, we were able to say, and the thing is, what is trending right now? COVID and misinformation. That is the trend right now. When you're talking about misinforming people back in 2013,
this is his moment.
The misinformation gang today in 2021. Come on, somebody. It don't get no better than that.
This is Rand Paul's moment. He admitted in 2013 his entire life has been built off of misinformation. That's the only way he's been able to achieve anything in his life, because he was mediocre and he could not keep up with the competition. So he had to spread misinformation so that his competition will perform worse. And he's doing that with COVID-19. Republicans know that they are responsible for the 630,000 people who are dead from COVID-19. So instead of facing the reality of their sociopathy, they are now trying to blame, through misinformation, Anthony Fauci and gain of function research, because they know their supporters, conservatives, are too dumb to just go to Wikipedia and understand that gain of function research is intended and designed to help us to get ahead of the next pandemic. But because of the pandemic of stupidity and misinformation from people like Rand Paul, we got 630,000 people dead in the United States of America. James, take us to a break, man. When we come back, we're gonna talk about these dicks that flew to space yesterday.
Dicks. Hey, man, thank y'all so much again for staying tuned and rocking with us. I want to read a few things here, so make sure y'all stay tuned. And shout out to all of the love that we're receiving via Cash App, y'all. We greatly appreciate it. Again, $ Betta's Voice and $ DJ X3C. Let's see what we can get read here. I got a few things to read. Here we go. Mimosa Dragon says, Lon, your Twitch community loves you more than you'll know. Trust and believe we got your back. Thank you, Mimosa Dragon. Anastasia Beaverhouse said, Rebecca and Bubba, sent y'all what I could. You too. I too feel like you guys. Paycheck to paycheck. Same here. Feel like a failure. Anastasia, we gonna get there. Just keep your head up, sister, okay? Make sure. And we got you too, okay? Pixie Phoenix, I feel you, Rebecca. I have to deal with the broken spine and the bills are ridiculous. Whew. Pixie Phoenix, we're praying for you, all right? Shay sent us a super chat, Laura Estrada as well too, and that's what it was. Laura Estrada said earlier, I know this country is lost and chaotic, but let's appreciate the space we have, the hope and purpose, and much joy. Love you, fam. Laura Estrada, thank you again. And AR Walker sent us a super chat for $50. AR Walker, thank you so much. An environmental coffee house. I can't do much because my basement wall sprung a leak from all this torrential rain, but here you go. Love you. Environmental Coffee House, we appreciate you so much, y'all. Man, we really greatly appreciate all of y'all. Y'all don't understand, excuse me, the love that we feel, and we greatly appreciate y'all. Every little bit helps, and we greatly appreciate it. Again, like it or not, patreon.com/like it or not, or if you want to donate to the Cash App, mine, DJ X3C, and Rebecca's is Becca's Voice, BECCASVOICE. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. We got some more coming up. The after party, which is going to stay streaming. So make sure that you stay tuned, y'all. Bailey, good morning. Sharon M, my Venmo is the same thing at DJ X3C. Rebecca, do you have something else besides Cash App? I think if you do, Rebecca, just let me know and I'll make sure I share it as well too. It's where the people came to play. Don't let them transform you. And also, I see some people are requesting the PayPal. PayPal is DJ Exclusive, DJ XXXCLUSIVE DJ Exclusive at gmail.com. And yes, that is with 3 X's. I'll tell you the story of the name one day, okay? I mean, it's a short story. I guess I can tell you the reason why I'm named DJ Exclusive. I call myself DJ Exclusive because I'm so nasty with all my mixes. Yes, David, that's correct. Missing the E at the end of exclusive. But yes, DJ Exclusive because I'm so nasty with my mixes and I'm nice with it. So that's why it's DJ Exclusive with 3 X's. And Rebecca's PayPal is RebeccaAzor@gmail.com. So first name and last name, RebeccaAzor@gmail.com. KFZ247. No comments. He says, "Boom chicka wow wow." That came from me. Yep, that's my fault, y'all. I was the creator for that. Krista Watson, thank you for your super chat. She says, "Keep rocking for the people." I greatly appreciate you. Oh, let me switch it to rock. Let's see. Demon Yama Mama, you're quite welcome. He is, Courtney.
Boy, you had me from the start. By the way you stared, the way you rolled up on me, yeah, yeah. Man, I felt your energy.
Shut up, Goku.
Being loved and treated differently, yeah.
Justin Draconis, you just let me know. I got you.
Signals got crossed, and now we're on completely different pages.
Look at this.
Let's go where we were. When no one gets
Brenda, good morning, Brenda. And Mama, ooh, I forgot my mama was watching. Mama, please forgive me for my comments and what we're about to talk about next, okay? Y'all welcome back to the screen. Ben and Rebecca.
Wait a minute. Wait. Well, now we still public now. If we need to go private to be safe, because, you know, my mama watching. So I want us to be mindful. So I know we're in after party mode, but if we need to, maybe we should actually go to the after party. What y'all think?
Thank you for not getting me stuff in my face, David.
Okay, so let's do this. I have a feeling we're going to need to actually go to the after party, folks.
No, we're not going to need to go to the after party. I think
we just have to fix those words, Ben.
We're just Ben. You don't, Ben.
Because my mama is watching. Y'all crazy. Yeah, wow. Okay. I ain't gonna get me in trouble.
We are not. It's okay. Mama knows that you a grown man with kids. How you kids out here?
We didn't drop the D already earlier, so it's okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what? My kids are watching now because we're in transition. My wife is getting ready to go do her thing, and now the kids are. You know, the after party is fair game. They might be running in here. So my kids are watching. So do we need to go? Okay. though, because I'm gonna say, because if I need to close the door,
walk to the door and stare at you. Okay?
No, I'm gonna cut the YouTube stream off so that anyway, all right, let's go. Listen, we are watching this
penis
erectile dysfunction flight to space of Jeff Bezos, which is the greatest statement of overcompensating for a shortfall in a certain category. Jeff Bezos spent good money to go take a trip because he's that rich. And he thanked. I know we played it at the beginning of the show, but I want to play it again because I think it's insult to injury. As much as I love space, the final frontier, as much as I dream of us going further in space than you can even imagine, I don't think we can get there through capitalism. Listen as he thanks employees and customers of Amazon.
Also, I want to thank every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer because you guys paid for all of this. So seriously, for every Amazon customer out there and every Amazon employee, thank you from the bottom of my heart very much. It's very appreciated.
I'm about to send all my stuff back to Amazon and say, I need my money back.
Well, Bubba, no, you're not. But
still, I'm hating. I'm hating.
If I could literally disconnect myself, because that to me is the most patronizing statement.
Yes.
Ever. Especially being that most of 2020, a lot of people, workers for Amazon, spent 2020. And if you're Black, you spent it protesting about George Floyd, about Breonna Taylor. You spent it trying to protect yourself at the same time when it came to COVID, because at that time we didn't know what the disparities were looking like for Black and white folks when it came to getting any kind of care during the beginning of COVID-19. And then the ones who worked as employees for this man, for Jeff Bezos under Amazon, were being abused. And the ones who decided to walk out and protest, they spent most of their 2020 protesting against the richest man, what in the world? They spent that literally fighting him. And he's saying, thanks to y'all, we made it to space. It was a very patronizing statement to me. To me, it was very patronizing because at the end of the day, you spent the billions of dollars and you went to go park that ass. You went to go use your capitalistic stanky behind and go park it right there on the moon for 2 seconds and act like this is something so amazing. You could have took that money, because you're not an astronaut. Like you're not that. All. You could have took that money and invested into places where they teach that, or for places where they need that money to fund better research to get people here into the moon and do proper research and bring us back some shit that we can work with.
Yeah. Yo.
Oh, sorry for cursing, Ben. Sorry.
No. I mean, no, for real. Can I show y'all how this works?
Show us.
Google. I want you to Google how many Amazon employees died of COVID.
Bless you.
Bless you, brethren.
I was trying to press the mute button.
That was in high definition.
Why would you make me laugh at it? Because I was like, okay, bless you. Let's move on.
That was in high definition. I heard the glavicles. I heard the pixel.
I heard it all in the mic.
Bro, your droplets.
It's right here. It's in this area right here.
The droplets, bro. Your droplets were pixelated in high resolution, brother. I heard God. Why am I glowing? Why am I glowing so bright? Let me get my light down.
Let me tell you that last second. I'm like,
Jesus, man. I'm like, oh,
that came from the mouth, the nose, the temple, and the ears.
Oh man, everywhere. Where were we? What were we even talking about?
We were talking. Babe, you were doing your whole tap moment. You were giving us an assignment, and I was.
Oh yes, right. You. I need everybody to Google how many Amazon employees died of COVID.
I'm scared.
And I want to show you something. Can anybody get me a total of how many Amazon people died? Because the last thing I see on this was from October and May of 2020, when they say nearly 20,000 Amazon employees contracted COVID-19. And the reason they contracted COVID-19 was because they had to continue working in Jeff Bezos's warehouses as essential workers during the pandemic, making him, somebody else Google for me, how much did Jeff Bezos make during the pandemic?
This is stressing me out because I'm not fast enough.
Somebody in the audience can do it. How much did Jeff
'Cause I'm
Bezos
feeling
make?
like the kid in the classroom, and the teacher tells us to do something, and I'm trying to go fast, and I'm slow. David gave the number. David said 19,000.
Yeah. But watch what you don't see. A couple things. Number one, what you do not see is the number of people, not on the front page. I'm sure if you go to page 5 or 6, you probably find the exact number of people who have died from COVID-19 because they contracted it at Amazon, because they had to continue working on behalf of Jeff Bezos so that he could go fly to the moon and back for 2 seconds, like you said. I know he didn't fly to the moon, folks. We're being bombastic here. But the point is that after that question was asked, I don't see any more reporting. How many people have contracted COVID-19 at Amazon, period? The problem is that Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post. Jeff Bezos owns Amazon. I mean, he owns all of the biggest institutions in this country. And if he doesn't want us talking about how he paid for that trip to the moon, which was with the blood of employees who died as essential workers, and then he thanked you.
Yeah, I think
play the clip of him again thanking the employees who died so that he could go to the tip of space.
Every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer, because you guys paid for all of this.
Yeah, stop it right there. Stop it right
seriously,
there.
You see, no, but the first thing that everybody did, Ben, I think he was essentially saying that I used your blood. I used your blood, sweat, your tears. And I used that to go to the moon. I used that to go to space. I used that to do something that I wanted to do my whole childhood. I used that to just go and build this rocket ship.
All right.
And just go out there and do what I needed to do. He literally, to me, is saying that, and even the audience picked up and laughed. Do you think that was supposed to be a funny moment? If I was thanking my employees for their hard work, for everything that they did, it would have been like, I've been into rooms where it's a lot of bull BS thanking you as employees. Right. And the first thing that everybody does is clap. What they did was laugh because it's a joke. Literally, he spoke with the patronizing tone. He literally spoke in his exactly truth. What you said. Yeah, it was basically, listen, it was your blood. It was all that protesting y'all did this summer, trying to cancel me.
Bessemer, Alabama.
Y'all, joke's on you. I used you, and I used all the people who still continue to purchase and order throughout the whole pandemic. And it was because of all y'all who try to fight me online and try to cancel me. I did what I did. I didn't even use the old money. I used the new money.
The new money. He went to space with the money Wow made him during the pandemic. Just the pandemic. How much did he make? Somebody get me the number. How much did Jeff Bezos make during the pandemic? This man makes as much money as you do in 11 seconds, and we high-fiving this dude.
How much did he?
Why? To come and buy, to come to our neighborhoods? There's like 8 Amazon warehouses within driving distance of me, and that's before I even get to the highway.
Yep. You see them gray trucks everywhere. You see them just driving by. You're like, where they all coming from? And when I go home to my mother's house, you see, I didn't even know that they put one there. And I told you guys about this. The whole hood, all the boys on the block, they all like, hey, man, I work for Amazon. I'm like, when did you guys get a job from Amazon? Oh, you ain't see they right up the street right here on Belvedere? And then I get there and I see all of them coming out at the same time every day to go, and don't even know that they're doing this, to go and do the masses work. They literally go out there every day. And at first they loved it. So I talked to my cousin. I said, well, how are you still enjoying Amazon? You know what he told me? He said, it's ridiculous because now it's becoming very like they're ordering everything I do. I used to have a way that I do things and get them done early so I can go home. They don't like the fact that we made the system easier. So now they're making it harder for us. And I was like, sounds about right.
Yeah.
And that's funny, Rebecca, because that's in Florida, right?
Yeah.
I have a friend in Tennessee says the exact same thing.
Yeah. Oh, I know people up in Boston. All the Amazon warehouses right there. The exact. So you mean to tell me how they treating you in Mississippi and in Florida and Tennessee and they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And y'all want us to be excited about this man? What do you think he's going to space for? To get away from labor, to get away from his employees.
While they still stay here. Listen, if they figure, you guys don't see it. This is trending now. Here's my conspiracist thoughts. Only the rich folks, and I bet you I can find somebody talking about this years ago, somebody Hotep or somebody very enlightened as a white person. I bet you can find something about this.
You're saying there's some theory on it.
Years ago. Rich folks gonna leave us behind, fly over to space. They're gonna fly into space and they're gonna find how they can live there, come back, pack their whole families up, and go to space, and they're going to have some kind of program that only the elite, and if you are not elite, you got to work hard enough to get on that train and make it, because everybody else, you're going to be on Earth.
What is it called, James?
It's called Elysium.
Elysium.
It's a movie where they went into space. They built a colony, like a little space station, artificial gravity, artificial sun, everything, and only the elite can get up there. And then, of course, they went up there and they took it over. Everybody else did. But yes.
I didn't know. I didn't even see. I got to go look it up. I didn't even know. That just came into my head. See, somebody already thought of it. I already knew.
Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you. I'm doing my best to not drop the N-word anymore because our dear beloved brother Mac has been schooling me, but this thing got me hot enough. Like, do y'all understand that these they are taking our labor and our consumption, folks. There is no Amazon without the employees and the customers. He thanked the people because he just set up this marketplace for us to connect with each other, and he's reaping the profits. Why do we need Jeff Bezos and Amazon to have that marketplace? Oh, well, anyway, let me stop with my stuff, Rebecca. All I know is that we are really looking at the monetization of the future. They are monetizing the future, and the way they're getting away with it is because they got a whole bunch of poor people who will never make it to space, dreaming vicariously through Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and thinking, "Oh, one day they're going to." And Richard Branson, they're going to bring me to space with you. No, they're not. You're going to be in the factories down here, all because we didn't take care of this now.
Oh, shit.
When we know that camera went out. It went out before I was about to call for a people's revolution. James, take us to a break before we start organizing. Oh, no, we're in the after party. Never mind. We're in the after party.
All right.
But we do need to give Rebecca time to get her camera back on.
Yeah, but it's funny, dude. I already see that it's going to or like, I don't know, man, because now all these rich people trying to get in space and everything. That's okay. I'm going to get up there for free because the alien's going to come get my ass. Earth is ghetto. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to go.
The aliens are going to literally look at who come. I don't think they like the people going up to space.
Me neither.
They're not the kind of people
supposed to be happening.
Listen, if y'all want the aliens to talk to y'all need to talk to black folks.
Y'all need to. Do you not see how a lot of the things have, we communicate with them.
What the hell? What's he cripping out? What the hell is he doing here? Right? He got a lot going on.
That's the gang. That's the gang that they're taking up in space. That's the KKK.
I was just about to say that's the new KKK mask.
White nationalist. That is them.
Oh man, sorry. I know it's COVID, but he look like what the hell?
But still,
yeah.
But man,
go ahead,
hey,
Rebecca,
there's this movie y'all need to watch called Cosmic Slop. It's from like the 90s, but it's about this so many episodes of miniseries in this one movie. But the first one is about how aliens came to Earth, and the country was looking at them like, okay, the aliens are coming. But here's what the aliens wanted. They wanted melanin. So they wanted to take all of the melanated people. They didn't say what they were going to take them for, but they were taking all the melanated people. And at one part, it was they're taking them to paradise. And they were going to give everybody here on Earth, all the resources, gold, water, everything that they wanted. But we were being taken to paradise. So I got to watch it. It's called Cosmic Slop. You can watch it on YouTube.
Movies like that in the 90s.
Is George Clinton is the narrator of it.
Oh my God, that's got to be the most amazing. I have not seen. I will watch that thing as soon as we off air.
Cosmic Slop. Make sure that y'all watch this right here on YouTube as well too. Somebody put me on, and I'm like, yo, this is some shit. What's going on?
I'm gonna watch that.
No, seriously, I'm gonna watch that as I
I'm
say
sorry,
today
y'all.
for the people.
I need black folks to know. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rebecca.
No. I'm writing it down in my,
No, I'm just saying I need black folks to know that we are as much a part of this battle between capital and labor as any other group. Because whose labor were they exploiting in slavery?
Whose labor are they exploiting now?
Yeah.
Like to this day, who led the Amazon? Who led the Amazon?
Christian Smalls.
Exactly.
Christian Smalls.
And
yeah.
what color is that man?
Black. He black. He black and he's proud black.
They have been exploiting our labor like nobody's business forever. And it is us who stands up and speaks on all these issues. Who are you in the workplace? I know each and every one of you who are watching have spoken. All of us in our workplace, and I've told you guys have heard me time and time again, where I've said these people are literally okay with exploiting our work.
Yes.
And who's the one who speaks up and says, well, now, hold on.
It's a black person.
Wait a second.
It's a black
person.
woman.
And I was going to say that, Ben. And most times,
it's a black
woman. Now, I can honestly say that I had to be the one, as my colleagues were shifting in their chairs, to be vocal about, hey, what you're not going to do is exploit us. And you're not going to tell us that it's okay for us to be robots and slaves for this company while we lose time on building with our kids.
Yes.
Excuse me, on building with ourselves, on our mental health. You're not going to say that's okay. So please give me something else to work with. Everybody was like, all the black women, what she said, because that's not right. It ain't right. That's right. Somebody got to be the Messiah in the room.
Somebody got to step up. And it's black folks who be stepping up because we understand the exploitative nature of this country.
Right.
Y'all put y'all children in labor camps.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all had to create laws to prevent you from exploiting your children for your and then you stole, and you did that because you couldn't exploit us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're at the final end of this. Where now you've exploited mankind to now you got to go to space.
Yeah.
And you want us to celebrate that with you? No, you have been trying to go to space and represent humanity when you've had your boot on the neck of humanity, and it just don't work like that.
Look at him. There is not a this is why I say what I say. Let me tell you something. Yesterday, I know we spoke about this. When it comes to being broke, there's levels to this thing. What I know, I told you this, Ben, in a personal conversation. Being broke is one thing, right? And we're just barely making it. Okay.
Right.
Like we're paying our bills, and some of us have a little bit money left over until the next paycheck to get groceries.
We get creative. We make it happen.
Groceries and gas.
So I'll say this. Being broke and not having is one thing, but when you got money and you just got money, buku money, you can pick your stress and your struggle.
That's right.
Some
I remember
people,
that.
it's too much for them. When it's a mental struggle, and that kind of is reaching, because some people, money is not enough when it comes to your mental struggle. But if you can control your mental struggle, it's just the outside struggle, man. I can't pay no bills, man.
Yeah.
I don't like this group of people that I'm working with, man. Like, damn, like I don't like where I'm living because they're racist, man. You can pick pick your battles, you can pick your struggles. Now, you don't see what people are doing randomly, getting up one week and saying, I want to fly to the moon. It's been my childhood dream to fly to the moon. And all of a sudden, a week later, you're flying to it's not literally a week, but we'll say he just told us like a month or two ago that he wanted to go there. We're here. He made so much money that he built some crap.
How much did he make during the pandemic? $70 billion, Rebecca. He said he made $70 billion. If I read that correctly, David, if I didn't, shout in my ear, but it looks like he made $70 billion during the last 18 months of the pandemic. Go ahead, Rebecca.
No, that's it. He spent billions on this space trip. I didn't say trillions. I literally just read an article that this man he spent billions on this trip
for his own personal grandeur. Y'all,
Who did it help? Did it help? Hey, Ben, did it help you? Bubba, did it help you in any way, shape, or form?
I ain't
But
get my
did you
packages quicker.
spend and did you purchase? I'm not trying to call nobody out because I know I did. I spent and I purchased from Amazon. I did. And because you know what? Because it helped me, right? It did. But there were times I'm like, damn, I can't, because my poor ass can't afford to actually go get what I needed to get from the store. It was cheaper on Amazon, and I'm on somebody else's Prime, so it came to my house for free, and it was contactless. Listen, he makes it accessible for us to literally sell our souls to the devil. When we're poor, we have to choose
Walmart.
We can't choose our struggle like they can. We can't choose what makes us money when we don't have enough, and that's what they throw in your face. If he was really so serious about helping people, helping his employees, he would take that money that he did to use to go, like I said, and use it for people who actually are astronauts, people who are studying this stuff.
Correction.
Go ahead.
Correction. I don't mean to interrupt you, Rebecca, but it's 86 billion, not 70.
Ooh,
86 billion. My bad.
$86 billion, bro.
Something just shot up in my shanana.
$86 billion.
86 billion. How
and
many
your plan got to look at it, Dick?
But we can't find out how many. But we cannot find out how many Amazon employees died because they worked those shifts and did not get to go work from home. They did not get any of the benefits. And that's why they were organizing in Bessemer, Alabama. That's why the Black women, Rebecca, were organizing in Bessemer, Alabama, trying to unionize Amazon. But because he made so much money, he's able to not only buy politicians, Jeff Bezos, he's able to buy the news. Because I'm going to challenge, I need somebody, can somebody tell us how many Amazon employees died while this man made $86 billion, so much money that he could just up on a Friday and say, you know what, I think I want to go to the moon.
Did he? Sorry. Did he go
and
to
I
anybody's
still have
funeral?
one more clip.
Okay, because did he go to anybody's funeral? That when any of his employees? Did he go?
Of course not.
Did he send a card? Did he what? Like, come on, somebody. Everyone that works for him, I'm pretty sure, has to endure. Some people didn't live to see another day because they worked so hard, didn't want to lose their job. Benjamin,
because they have to feed their kids. They monetize.
Williams.
Yo. Y'all better get me off the screen because I'm gonna tell you the truth. They got you afraid of us seizing the means of production, but they've seized the means of our survival.
Hello.
They have monetized our survival. Because we have no choice but to go out here and work in this pandemic. People paid with their life because they had to pay for their children's food and rent. And y'all want us to celebrate this man going to the moon? I know he went to space. We're being bombastic here, but that's how much money he made. $86 billion in the pandemic. And let me show you how they want to think of Black people. They're going to vilify anybody who fights for liberation. Right now, they're all lined up against Nina Turner. Every one of them are lined up against Nina Turner in the 11th district of Cleveland, of Ohio. Everybody's trying to stop that particular Black woman from getting elected to Congress. But they want to think of you as a good little Negro who is out there. Every good little Negro who's out there watching Jeff Bezos fly to the moon is a good little Negro that we don't have on the side of the road shooting people. Play that clip.
People will criticize what I'm about to say. The young man sitting there, excited as he was, that's one less Black kid on a corner getting ready to use a weapon.
What?
Hey. Can I go? Listen, when I seen that clip, I played it because it was so short. I played it like 10 times because I needed to hear it. And I said, did he just say that Jeff Bezos going up to space and a little Black man or a little Black boy in the middle of this being excited during the landing, the fact that Jeff Bezos went to space and excited a little Black boy is one less thug on the streets because of Jeff Bezos.
Play that again, David, with sound, please. Yeah, let's.
People will criticize what I'm about to say. The young man sitting there, excited as he was, that's one less Black kid on a corner somewhere getting ready to use a weapon. People will criticize what I'm about to say. the young man sitting there, excited as he was, that's one less black kid on a corner somewhere getting
One more
ready
time.
to use a weapon.
One more time.
People will criticize what I'm about to say. The young man sitting there, excited as he was, that's one less black kid on a corner somewhere getting ready to use a weapon.
All right, mute it, man, mute it.
Who is this Uncle Ruckus ass mother
No, he's definitely an Uncle Ruckus. Honestly,
Like,
this
for
actually,
real.
I can't even ride him out. Like I can't. I'm
Charlie
upset.
Bolden. Hey,
I'm
Charlie.
it angers me. Charlie Bolden. It angers me that he sat here and look at Gail. I want to know what Gail said after. I wish we had that.
Yeah.
Because for him to sit here on CBS and sit here on the People Channel and say, as a black man, that this white man going into space, exciting a black child, means that this one less black thug in the streets to cause mischief, to cause issues in the world. Are you
That's what
kidding
he
me
said.
right now? Let me
That's
tell
what
you
he said.
something. So when the cops shoot down a black kid for playing in the streets with a gun, that's exactly what they think too. One less black. Did you not see the comments surrounding those black deaths? One less black person. Because that's what I hear when I hear him saying that. One less black person because of a white savior. The cops are a white savior to this damn United States. Jeff Bezos is a white savior in this damn United States. This is what they're trying to frame that as. I don't have time for it. Yeah, go to space, do your thing, go on your little dick ship, do what you got to do, whatever you need to do it. But my God, do not ever put your little dirty mouth, black or white, on none of our black children. And already put them in the box that America puts them in already, as young thugs or not capable, not smart, not nothing. Don't do that.
That is the comfortable lens through which they are accustomed to viewing blackness.
It was so
That's the narrative.
easy to come
That's
out of
the
his
narrative. That's the narrative that actually, and I would love to know what, because no tell. I mean, she, depending on what day you catch her on, she probably called him and read him for filth. But then on the other day, she might not have. I have no idea what her response was. But I tell you this, that's the narrative that CBS loves, the NBC loves, that the mainstream media love. They love the narrative. Oh, look, we got a good one. We raised them up, and he's up there with Jeff Bezos and not on the corner. You know why we have a corner in the first place? It's because of Jeff Bezos and billionaires. Do you think there would be a need for a ghetto if we didn't have such a need for billionaires?
That just made my blood boil.
It did.
That really upset me, Ben. I don't know. I didn't think it was. I seen it last night and it bothered me. Hearing it again really upsets me because he put that. He literally said that kid or black kids are automatically thugs and in the street and killers and drug dealers and just
pull your pants up, son. Pull your pants up, son.
And for him to even think that somebody was gonna be happy because this white man put his ass up in space on this dick ship, nah, bro, you ain't even go in space fully. It's one thing if you went in space, hit the moon, and did some other shit. You went to the top edge of space, and you came back down.
But you see what the world does with that, though, honey. What the world does with that, because he's a billionaire. What the world does with that, they will literally over exaggerate every single thing that he does and says, wow, this man went to space, touched the air in space, and came right back. But the severity of people who actually study this thing, who really study space, aeronautics, whatever the word is, but the astronauts, all of them, the people who actually do this thing, the danger, how dangerous it is to actually go to space, just to even go up in there and come back and land.
I'm sorry. I got it now. I know why the ship looks like a dick. He went up in space. He just put the tip in. Shout out to Mara. Mara said that in the chat room.
That was really good, though.
This is why it's the after party.
That was really good.
But
that was good.
I just, Rebecca, you're saying these people have put their life. This is what is life and death for one group is a game for billionaires.
Yes.
That's what I heard you say if I was
That's
listening.
exactly what I said, Ben. Thank you so much for interpreting for me. But that's exactly what I said. That's it. Because I don't believe that they understand. Look, I don't know why it's so easy for him just in a few months. Literally, he just told us. And then he may have been working on this for a while.
Because he owns the company. That's why it's so easy.
Exactly. He just told us, hey,
because
I was a kid, I want to go into space. And then boom, he went. But we have heard, I remember the first time when we saw when we used to go outside, as kids and watch them launch into space. You saw what happened. One of them never landed correctly. It was a scary moment for everyone because it's the seriousness in it. And this
I'm thinking. I thought you meant like Challenger because I grew up. One of my first memories is the Space Challenger blowing up. Yeah,
absolutely.
And then. That's why every time after that, anytime they were going and launching into space, and we would be so scared. Like, God, please let it go up safely, God. Like, let it go up safely. We've heard about what happened before. Let it go up safely. And here it is, how easily and accessible for somebody to just go up for fun when there are people who are actually studying this and want to know more about it and how it can help people down here, or how us knowing what's going on up there and how it affects our atmosphere here and how we can fix it. There are so many things, but you just went up there for fun. What was your reason?
And that was to call yourself an astronaut. You ain't no goddamn astronaut. You train for 14 hours. You're not an astronaut. You're not an astronaut.
You're rich. That's all. You're not an astronaut.
You're an ass. Thank you, Rebecca.
Here's the guy who said that clip, and I want to play that guy again, Charles Bolden Jr. He is a retired U.S. State Marine Corps Major General and a former astronaut who flew 4 space shuttle missions. He's a 1968 graduate of the United States Naval Academy and is a former NASA administrator.
Wow.
And so, guys, sometimes the deepest blow comes from your own.
Yeah.
But the best thing that he could observe in the moment of his triumphant epiphany, that grand moment in the aftermath of this realization of commercial space flight on behalf of billionaires, this is what Charles Bolden had to say about Black youth.
People will criticize what I'm about to say. The young man sitting there, excited as he was, that's one less black kid on a corner somewhere, getting ready to use a weapon.
Now I'm going to do the rare thing of offering this brother an extension of good faith to not question him as an individual, his integrity, him as a black man, his black experience, because I can't imagine what it was like to come up and be an astronaut and be to grapple with white supremacy. But that's exactly what has happened. There's a group of black leadership, and their reaction to white supremacy has been one of respectability politics. And this is what our brother represents. I'm not knocking him as a person, because full respect to him for everything that he's accomplished. But respectability politics is still getting us killed, right? Yeah. Philando Castile was respectable in that he told the police officer that he had a weapon on him and he was licensed to carry. He was constitutionally authorized to be carrying. He was respectable, but he died anyway. And so we got to shift that mindset. I that's the mindset that is the most detrimental to us right now.
He got paid to say it. And I respect everything you just said, Ben. 100%. That's a big point. Literally.
We know for sure he got paid to say it.
Well, no, now let me just say this right here. Anybody with, especially you breaking it down like you did, as a black man who literally is coming up, and I'm pretty sure as a minority, the only one. And I'm pretty sure he had to go through a lot of challenges as a black man coming up in this particular, in anything that has to do with working in space. We've seen the movie where women who were trying to work in that atmosphere.
Hidden Figures.
Yes, and
Katherine Johnson.
So much going on with that, and disrespect going on with that for years. Now, what I needed to understand is, even regardless of all of that, you're sitting before somebody, and the first thing that you say isn't, wow, the innovation and how we got here or whatever, but what you say or the point that you make, and you knew before you said it, as my best friend pointed out, you knew before you said it that it was wrong. You literally said, I'm
Yes,
going
he
to get
did.
criticism for this. So
Yes.
you already knew. You knew it was wrong, but you let it come out of your mouth. And you
Yeah.
did it on behalf of a billionaire, which tells me you saying that made
You better
him
get
look
paid
good.
for it.
You made Jeff Bezos look good. When you know there are other things that you could have discussed, like, hey, these are a few of the things that could have happened, as Jeff Bezos is not actually a skilled astronaut.
Exactly.
And those are the things that we should discuss. This should not be something that everybody just goes and tries just because. There are requirements. This needs to be done. But you
That could have
pointed out
easily been the context of the
that
conversation.
a black kid, and I'm telling you, who was the one that led the fight against Jeff Bezos?
Christian
black
Smalls,
man.
a black man.
Okay, so all of it to me, look, my conspiracy, hey, where my hat at? It's all tying together for me. Okay, what he wanted was good press. What he wanted to make sure was the person that works alongside him has to be something rare, something that's against our company right now, something that's going through the issues right now in the United States. It's going to be a black man. We're going to choose him, and we're going to make sure that he points out something about.
Oh, look at the little black kid down there on the side looking all proud.
And that man, you know, it hurt him to say that, and he still said it. Because if it didn't hurt him to say that, he wouldn't have said what he said before.
At the beginning. Absolutely.
Ooh. See, y'all don't ever ask me why I got Rebecca Azor around
Why he
here.
had to juxtapose it, Rebecca.
So I had to juxtapose.
He has to juxtapose it.
Don't y'all ever ask me why we got Rebecca Azor around here. Y'all out y'all damn minds. Break that thing down.
It's broken. Listen, that's what it was. That's what it was. And I need you to understand all that. Anytime that you've seen me, if you pull up any videos from my past, when I first started working in politics, those white people literally told me what to say. And you know what happened after they told me what to say? I got a check. When it came to...
All jokes aside, I apologize. I don't know the context. But he just gave $100 million to Van Jones, a black man.
I saw somebody just said that.
In my shanana, because when it's white, it's your shanana. In my shanana, you guys,
That's
saw
the colonized
that,
version of shanana.
I was like, excuse me. Van Jones is under fire still from him saying what he said. From him partnering with Donald Trump and trying to give reason for him partnering and standing near Donald Trump and saying that if we work with Donald Trump, and be the black voice for Donald Trump, there's something that we can get from it. But also the same man who listen, money will make people do crazy things. My check was literally not even 1% of probably what these boys got paid. Okay? not even 0.1%. They paid my bills, but I had to come to a place after a while to understand my voice. You will not monetize on my voice. My voice is not for sale, and I'm gonna have to pick and choose at this particular moment how I move, because now I see that I'm doing everything that you guys want me to do, and I'm actually speaking a lot of satire when there's some real shit going on in the world. My people are being gunned down. Are you not seeing this? My people are being gunned down.
Wait a minute, Rebecca, because I got lost in a little bit of that too. But you were talking about your experience as a journalist, and when we met each other, that was the conditions. They would love for us to talk about like what the good stuff that like there are black narratives that this country likes, that white progressives and white liberals and white conservatives like about black people. And one of those narratives is what that guy Charles Bolden Jr. said. Whether he liked it or not, he said that. Rebecca, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, right there. And I just had to say, so when I see people doing that, trust me, there's something behind it. Nobody's just gonna go and shuck and jive for no reason.
Right.
And not that he probably needed the money, but this is beneficial to him to do so. I stood beside this man. He paying me for it. And the thing that he said before he said it, I'm going to get criticism because he knows the black community. He knows himself as a black man in the space of Arrow, whatever it's called, but he knows himself in that space and he knows how hard it was for him. He understands that, but he also knows that if he pulls down this storyline for Jeff Bezos will be more likable, more relatable, more understood. When Jeff Bezos sat there and the first thing that he said to the people was, I want to thank my employees. And the response was laughter.
Yes. Because the journalists know what's up.
They know
what's going on. It tells me all I need to know.
Exactly. So journalists tell me, why is it that when I Google how many Amazon employees have died of COVID-19, the last thing I see is a report from 2020 telling me how many got infected with COVID-19, because that also suggests to me, Rebecca, this is my speculation here, that the reason I can't find that out easily is because Jeff Bezos actually has enough money to go to space. So he has enough money to stop y'all from reporting on it, especially when he owns the Washington Post.
Wow. He owns what? That's why Washington Post been a little off lately. I've been saying, like, you're not hitting the marks. You're not doing what needs to be done. There's a lot of stories that the way that you guys are, I don't like it. The same thing that we saw, a lot of these people, the Bloomberg press, like, we know that they can control, because they're billionaires.
Right.
They can control the way they want these to move, even though they'll keep it for maybe like a week or two when we start looking at it and saying, hey, the Bloomberg is not doing what it needs to do. Oh, hey, Washington Post is being one-sided about this. Hey, the New York Times. Remember when everybody online was like, the New York, if y'all do one more headline that's on the side of Donald Trump.
Yes, from the perspective.
Right.
Remember?
Every week it was an article about, well, what do you consider from the perspective of this twice removed cousin of an Arkansas voter for Donald Trump?
Hey, my opinionated piece, but we're going to make it, this is going to be an opinionated piece, but we're going to literally push it as politics and only politics. And we're going to push this. Everybody would online, especially the journalists, would tear those articles apart. Do you hear me? Now the New York Times are like, okay, there are two sides to every story. Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll try to be unbiased or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, now they're trying to move in that way. So listen, it's not just by chance that these billionaires could just own all these things. I wish that we could go and be the voice of the people. I wish that we can do journalism correctly. I wish that we can do what we need to be done. No, the control is going to be over with the people with money. So they're going to control your voice too. Mm-hmm. So as we see that they're controlling the press, they're controlling what's being spent, they're controlling what we watch on TV, mm-hmm. they're controlling what we drive, they're controlling how we eat, what we consume. You can literally
Amazon owns Whole Foods.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can watch Mr. Bolden and see that they've controlled him. All you got to do is whisper in somebody's ear about some dollar signs. And that's it.
I wonder if there's any. we don't need to speculate, but I just say, if you were going to force me at gunpoint to sell out my people with a statement that I know I'm going to get in trouble with, I might do it to the tune of $100 million.
And then put out a statement later on, like, I didn't mean none of that shit. I just want
look, y'all. I know what's happening.
I mean, if I had to snag some capital, because here's the thing, I want to, Rebecca, you get the last word because we already overtime. You get the last word, but I want to say this, y'all. Why is it that a billionaire gets to own a newspaper, but the people, we ain't got no paper for the people? Why is it that a billionaire can own a marketplace, but we ain't got a marketplace for the people? They can own a space company, but we barely got NASA, barely got nothing for the people. All this stuff that one man is able to buy, it's very intentional. It's because this system is designed exactly to create overlords by the name of oligarchs. And when these people can afford enough money to go to space, and we all, Rebecca, like you taught us, they laughed. The journalists laughed when Jeff Bezos thanked his employees. You know why? Because we all know how Amazon employees are treated. We know about the urine in the bottles because they can't get to bathroom breaks. We know about the safe rooms where they have to go and they get this little claustrophobic closet where it's supposed to be, ambient sounds to make them relax, all because you're driving them to the point of insanity because they are essential workers who created $86 billion worth of wealth for Jeff Bezos, enough money for him to go to space. And the people, we can't even get a post office anymore. Because we've been tearing that apart piece by piece, giving it away to Amazon.
It's just so much. Listen, all of that with being said, because it was really good and it's very vital. This will be the last word. But we need to look at all these billionaires and what they do with their money.
Yeah.
They make it inevitable for us to not use their system. You know why? Because it's everywhere. They own everything. The paper is supposed to be a voice for the people, but it is controlled. And it's not even controlled by people who care about press. It's controlled by people who have money. I literally, and no offense to Shaq, it was a great, he was sitting with people and they were talking about being successful. And he was like, well, who owns Marilyn Monroe? Who owns Elvis? Who owns JCPenney? Who owns, and everybody's like, the people that he was talking to were answering. He's like, I own all of that. But the thing is, why? Well, I mean, I get it, Shaq. It's a good look. You're a black man. You're owning this and you're expanding on it or whatever the case may be. But why? Why? It's because you have money. I can't walk up nowhere and say, hey, I own this, I own that, I own that, I own that. It's the control. When you're rich, it's something about being able to control something. Yep. It's something about being able to literally force whatever you feel on people who are poor and without. And what you do is constantly make them feel like, God damn, I'm poor. This just tells me that I just ain't got it. I'm poor as hell. This just reminds me that I'm poor, And I work for this man. I work for a company that makes money off of people not having money.
Wow.
And the owner literally will be like, every day he's posting up messages and telling us like, hey, be encouraged. We'll be back in the office soon. You just made money off my grandma not having nothing in her account. And don't play with me. And I have to work for these people. I feel like a traitor, you guys. Every day that I log in, I feel like a traitor. Because this, I know I do not want to work for a company who abuses people. But just like the people of Amazon who fought this summer, they were like, dang, if I leave this job, I'm not going to have any income to save myself. And it's a system that they built us. They built us to rely on them. Even if you got a little bit of something in your pocket, we still rely on them because what they do is they start owning everything around us. Everything. It's control.
Whew.
I say all I have to say. I love y'all so much. I thank you guys for.
I gotta say this. Before you go, Rebecca.
As a kid,
the revolutionary. Wait. I gotta. Hey, listen. The revolutionary, the righteous, the ratchet, Rebecca.
Come on, I love it.
I'll take it. I love that. That's me all the way.
All day.
That is me all the way. What is this?
That was cute. That was cute as hell.
Well, that's my signal that my kid. It's time for the kids. My kid's been popping up in this video all day morning. There you go. That's what kids about to do to me. I'm out of here, y'all. Rebecca, that was dope.
All right, y'all. I love you guys. Thank you guys
James,
so much
appreciate you.
Yeah, thank y'all so much,
you're doing. The Cash Apps that you're sending, I really appreciate that.
Yes,
Cash App
absolutely.
is right there below. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rebecca's voice. I love you guys so much, for real, though. Thank you guys for your support, your kind of support. Literally, all
David, put yours up. David, producer, put yours up on the screen. Where you at, David?
Exactly. All we needed was some help, and I was afraid to ask for it, but because look, the spirit led Bubba. And the spirit pushed me. So I'm thank you guys so much.
And I told you, all we got to do is structure it, decency and order. We go pop.
And
the
greatly
appreciate
and got us together.
Because now it'll be 10 years from now, and people watch that dope clip you just said, showing how revolutionary you are, and they're gonna be sending you a Cash App in 10 years.
In 10 years,
thank me in 10 years.
I thank you now, Ben, and I thank the people who are watching who make this possible. Literally, like honestly, thank you. And I'll let you guys know what's up when I go to this next doctor's appointment. Hopefully, it's nothing but good things. I love you. I love you.
For you.
I love you.
Yeah, we speak that. It's done.
And David's is DKG87. DKG87. That's David, y'all.
Now listen, y'all, but these is reparations. So y'all sent no. I'm joking.
It's 11 a.m. Look, it's time to log in. You got a song to play, Bubba?
Look, yes, Ty. It's gonna be real quick because my boss about to call me like any minute right now.
Oh Lord.
I love you guys so
much. My kids have infiltrated the room. That means we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Right. Love y'all, mean it. We'll see y'all in the morning.
Bye.